All right, so we get e4 from Fabiano. His game. Let's go back to Magnus's game. Waiting for a move here. What's my view on Vincent? Vincent, very strong player. You know, in another timeline, Vincent Kamer plays knight takes e4 against Magnus Carlsen, and everything is different. Vincent plays knight takes e4. He might be in the candidates right now. Literally those 30 seconds in time. You know, the multiverse in this universe, Magnus won the game because Vincent didn't play knight takes e4. In the other universe, I'm sure Vincent played knight takes e4, and this is not what it is. So somewhere out there's another universe where Vincent is playing right now against Nijat Abasov in the semifinals. Thank you, Quiet Guru, for the gifted sub. Appreciate it. Thank you so much. So yeah, this is the first game of the match. Okay, so Abasov playing the Sicilian here. Will Magnus play d4 or bishop b5 is the big question. We will go to kick later on for everybody who's wondering. So yes, we will. Abasov playing great chess. You could say maybe he was a little bit lucky in his match against Giri and or Savidler, but he played a spectacular game yesterday or 2 days ago, whenever it was, against Vidit Gujarati. Played a pristine game, a game that I don't think Magnus could have played any better himself. So he played a really good positional game, and very deserved win. So yeah, he's been impressive. So we get the Ross Limo, bishop b5, e6 played here. Okay, all pretty standard. Probably b takes. D takes is okay, but then e5, and white's going to get a lot of oxygen for the horse. So Abasov takes with the b pawn. We'll either get e5, d3, or probably castles. Will I play in the candidates? I don't know if I will play in the candidates, but we'll see. Okay, we got b3, d6. Actually, I feel like, you know, I might have had this years ago. Let me see if I can find that game. Let me see if I can find this game. I might have had this game. Let me see if I can find this game. Was this the game? Yeah, so you know, you guys actually, yes. So just to give you guys a trip down memory lane, I actually had this position in the tournament in b3 against none other than the current FIDE CEO Emil Satovsky in I think it was Pamplona in 2003. It was a tournament that I traveled to in Spain with my stepfather, and I actually played d5 here, but Abasov plays d6 instead. So we get e5 takes d3. Again, all this is fairly standard so far. White temporarily sacks a pawn, but the idea is long term that black will end up losing the c5 pawn just down the road. Something like, just to illustrate the point, you can get some position like this where black material is even, but black has these double stacked pawns that make the bishop not have access to this diagonal. So yeah, no, it was a very rough event, you guys, when I played in not Las Palmas, in Pamplona in 2003, because when I went to the tournament, I went there with my stepfather, and we stayed in the same room. There were 2 beds and everything, but the problem is my stepfather usually turn the game audio down. Oh, it's too loud. Should be okay. I think it's fine. I can check, but I think it's fine. But anyway, the point I was trying to make is, so basically stay in the same room. The problem is that every night my stepfather fell asleep before I did. Music is too loud relative to the board sounds. Okay, I can turn the music down a little bit. I'll just turn it down just a touch, and go from there. But anyway, yeah, I turned the music down a little bit, but yeah, so that's better. Sure, I can turn it down a little bit more, but I think we're in pretty good shape. I'll turn it down just a touch more. But yeah, so what I was saying is, basically when I played in Pamplona in 2003, we're staying in the same room, and the problem is my stepfather was falling asleep before me, and my stepfather, he let's just say he snores, and it borders on potentially sleep apnea, so he would fall asleep before I would. So pretty much none of those nights during the tournament, I didn't get any good sleep. I was sleeping like 2-3 hours. It was impossible to fall asleep because, you know, I'm trying to go to bed, it's like and I couldn't sleep. So yeah, it was very rough. So let's leave it there, but brings back some memories. Anyway, all right, so back to the chess. Yeah, back to the chess. We're waiting, and it was worse because there were like 1 or 2 nights where I would fall asleep before him, but I wake up in the middle of the night, go use the bathroom, and then of course he was asleep and he was snoring, and it was just total disaster. So anyway, yeah, so back to the game. Magnus's game is very weird. I'm not familiar with the system specifically. I haven't looked at this in quite a while, this knight bd2 setup, but basically Magnus long term, he has a very simple idea. He wants to castle, play something like bishop a3, play something like knight e4, and essentially win back the pawn that he temporarily sacrificed here and have the better pawn structure due to these double pawns on e6 and e5. So we'll wait and see what we get here. Thank you so much to that Chicktown dude for the 17 months. Thank you, Wizard Melon, for the 19-month resub. Appreciate it. Thanks so much. So all right, can I get the cameras? I'm sure periodically I could pop them up, but I'm not really in the mood not really in the mood to deal with it right now, so we'll just leave it as it is. I root for Abasov. He wants to retire. Why playing it first? I think Magnus has never won the FIDE World Cup. He wants to win the event, so that's the main reason. Can I cover the women's event? Yes, I could definitely cover the women's as well. We have all the games up. Pretty boring opening so far. We have the Queen's Gambit declined here between Goryachkina and Salimanova, or Salimova, I should say. So let's take a look at the other game, the game between Fabiano and Prague. Okay, pretty normal stuff so far. Okay, so let's see what we get here. Now, I'm gonna actually give you guys some insight here, okay? So this is like top level serious insight. I'm gonna give you guys like some insight. I actually was considering playing this exact system that Fabiano has played against Pragnananta for the game against him, the classical game and the rapid game. I ended up not playing in either situation because I felt the position here after say g5, bishop g3 and castles is very dangerous, or even queen e7, because black gets easy pawn pushes on the king side and it's very easy to play. Now I felt that I was vindicated to some degree because in the final, not the final game, sorry, but in one of the blitz games between Arjun and Prague, Arjun also played this bishop g5, bishop h4, and he got steamrolled by Pragnananta. So it's just interesting to see Fabiano returning to this, because I considered playing this. Arjun did play it and lost very badly, and in this case Fabiano is trying it as well, so it should be quite interesting to see what we get. He basically gifted the match to Prague. Well, I mean, I confused the move order and lost the game. That's what happened. I shouldn't have played something where it was that the margin was so thin. That was a mistake that I made. The mistake that I made against Prague was I played something where the margin, if I confused the move order or made a mistake, I just lose the game. It's not where I'm worse and I can unwind it. I just lose. So that was the big mistake that I made. So b4 is rare. I believe this is all pretty standard. In fact, honestly, I think I looked at this just the other day. I'm pretty sure black can go knight d7 or knight h7 here. I'm pretty sure this is still very, very standard theory unless I'm out of my mind. Yeah, playing solid seems to be the meta. Of course that is the meta in the World Cup, but again, once you get towards the end, players and their nerves start to play a huge role as well, so things change. You could have played for a draw. I mean, I could have played something different. Obviously in retrospect I should have, but again, I mean, I thought the choice was reasonable. It was not the right choice, but it is what it is. Yeah, it's all pretty standard theory as far as I know. I mean, g5, bishop g3, and then black can go either knight h7 or knight d7. I believe that knight d7 is considered to be the better line, if I recall, but I could be wrong on that. I'm surprised that Prague is thinking here, but we'll see. You just had to draw and go to rapid blitz where you would destroy them short time controls. Again, maybe that's true, maybe that's not true, but again, I don't think that's giving Prague credit either, because don't forget, I would have had black in the second game anyway, and obviously I played something very risky because I had to win, but assuming like somehow it would have been different, like I don't think that's really fair. You can't really look back with that sort of viewpoint. It's just not realistic. I chose that opening of the final game because it was a must-win situation. That's the reason I chose it. Thank you so much to Vinny Chase for the 22 months. Thank you so much to Vinny. Mag is playing some wild moves. Wait, what? Wait, what? Okay, now I'm really confused. I'm gonna open chess base. I'm gonna open chess base for a second, so I need to take a look if this is legitimate. Well, I need to make a new board and take a look. Give me a second. e4 c5, knight 3 knight 6, bishop 5 e6, takes b3 d6, e5 takes. Yeah, I'm just taking a look at this because now I'm a little confused. He played what did he play? He played d3 is already a novelty, I guess. d3 apparently is a novelty, it looks like. 3 f6, knight bd2, knight h6, rook g1. Yeah, apparently this is a novelty. Okay, I'm confused. Yeah, I'm actually really confused. Seeing Levy at PogChamps was horrible. Okay, whatever, I don't care. Things are to blur CS:GO for 38 months. d3 is apparently a novelty. Rook g1, I don't know what this is. I'm actually really confused. I don't know what this is from Magnus. This must be some kind of really deep prep in some line. This has to be some kind of deep prep. I don't know. d3 is apparently the novelty as far as I can tell, but rook g1 looks insane. So I mean, the idea I assume is that you want to go g4 or something, but I mean, this looks so ridiculous. No, I mean, I don't believe this. I just don't believe this. This looks ridiculous to me. I mean, maybe he wants to go g5 and give black 3 sets of pawns. I mean, is it something really weird like this? Yeah, I mean, you could get 3 sets, like you get something like this, and I mean, maybe black is like 3 sets of pawns and white is doing fine. But yeah, this looks very strange, very strange. I mean, I think that's actually Magnus's idea. I think his idea is actually to play g5 to try and open up the file. I mean, I don't know what's going on here. This is insane, but it's interesting. Computer actually thinks white is like close to winning, and the reason is because his bishop on c8 is so bad. There's no scope for the bishop on any of these diagonals. Even if you get to a6, you're staring at pawns. So because the light square bishop is so bad here, white could be much better. This is pretty wild. Yeah, this is pretty wild for Magnus. And this game is going to be a lot of fun, you guys. It's going to make for a very good recap too. So all right, moving along. Okay, the other game, standard QGD, Prague's game, more moves to get bishop e6, a4 played. Okay, again, all pretty normal, nothing too crazy. I'm a little bit disappointed that Prague played bishop e6 and not g5. Bishop e6 is playable as well, but g5 is more aggressive, so we'll see what we get. What do you got? You guys are saying he studied his games and figured this would work. Maybe he did. I mean, I don't really know. It's very hard to judge. Very hard to judge. There are 30 seconds added. Bishop e6 is not a mistake by Prague. It's just not the top move on the weak engine. But I have looked at both g5 and bishop e6 for both white and black in the past in the system, so it is playable. So let's see what we get from Fabiano. This is game numero uno for those of you guys who are wondering. Game number one. Yeah, so let's see. Abasov is someone that, I mean, I've known of Abasov for many years. He's been a very solid, like 2650-ish player for quite a long time, just sort of outside that top level, but he is capable of pulling off some upsets in the World Cup. I feel like he played the World Cup maybe like 2 or 4 years ago, or maybe it was even 6 years ago, where he beat 1 or 2 really good players even then. So yeah. Can I adjust the painting in the background? Oh, is the does it look worse on my main one? Does it look off? Oh, it looks very off actually, no matter what I do. Interesting. Yeah, it looks pretty off. 1 second. Okay. It's, I don't know, maybe the ghost moved it. Maybe the ghost moved it. I could have tilted the camera too, but maybe a ghost moved it while I was away from home for a few weeks. So anyway, all right, you guys, so it's better. Yes, so this game unfortunately is looking fairly standard, so let's go back to Magnus. Actually, Magnus's game, those of you guys who are wondering, we're gonna get a very deep think here from Abasov. Abasov is probably going to think for the next 20 minutes, so I don't expect any moves here for a long time. So we're gonna cover the other 3 games. We also have a game between we have a game between Tan Zhangji and, of course, Muzichuk, the losers bracket as well. So pretty normal so far. Okay, this one very standard. Probably Salamova goes bishop e6 because of bishop h5. There's bishop d3 with g4. So you play c6, g4. Uh-oh, Spaghettio, you're going to lose a pawn on g6. So, yeah. Let's see, what else do we have? Rook to e1 played here. Thoughts on Abasov being banned from chess.com for cheating? I saw something about that. I don't know exactly whether that's like, it wasn't clear to me whether that's a rumor or whether that's true, what the situation was, but whatever. I mean, whatever. Yeah, I think Abasov is probably very confused right now. He's saying like, what the heck is going on? Abasov is probably looking at, like, if this was Anish, I could tell you what would be happening. If this is Anish Giri, he'd be literally looking down. He'd look up like I'm looking at you guys at the camera, and he'd just be staring at Magnus. He'd be looking at Magnus, go. He'd keep looking at Magnus. Basically, what I was looking at the camera. That's what Anish would be doing here, because he'd be very confused. But it's not Anish. It's obviously Abasov, so it's a little bit different. That's what Anish would be doing. He'd be like, he'd look down and look up at Magnus, like he'd look down at the board and look back up at Magnus either way. But Abasov is going to think for a long time here. I think it's the same man for the 40 months. The big question is this game on Cessa, the supercomputer, or not? Let me see if it's on Cessa. It is on Cessa. So let me see. Cessa says that queen a5 or knight to f5 or both play. Actually, queen a5 is apparently the only move where Sessa doesn't give white a big advantage. So you know what this means? You know what this tells me is that this is actually preparation from Magnus, and this is some sort of preparation that he did from the black side. He did preparation from the black side for somebody. I don't know when he did this, but he probably looked at this exact line, and I don't know if he saw like rook g1 with like alpha 0 type stuff, but he probably saw rook g1 pop up on one of the supercomputers, and that's where it came from, and that's why he's playing this. So Abasov plays bishop a6 quickly, and g4 is apparently just winning for white. According to Sessa, g4 is GG, by the way. Yeah, Sessa says g4 is close to winning already. It says g4, knight f7, and then what? Well, let me make the moves on the Sessa one. Let me see. g4, knight f7, and then queen to e2. And apparently on Sessa, it says white. Wait, it actually says on Sessa, you guys, this position is plus 1.7. The game is over here. The game is actually over here. No, Sessa says that this is plus 1.7. I mean, it literally says this is game over after queen to e2. It says plus 1.71. The weak engine doesn't see it yet, but Sessa says 1.71. This is insane. This is actually game over. This is game over. I'll give you guys the link so you can see it too. I just put the link in chat. There you guys go. Like, yeah, Sessa literally says that after g4, knight f7, queen e2, white's winning. It says queen e2, queen c7, bishop b2, castles, and knight d6, and then king b1, and apparently after knight b5, g5, white's like much better if not winning. Thank you so much to Johnny J. Duffin for the 16 months. Yeah, crazy actually. Yeah, this is a big novelty. I don't know why. I will say I'm kind of shocked that Magnus is using this against a player like Abasov. Actually, I'm really surprised that he's using this in a game like this. Yeah, no, I mean, if it says 0.94, then Magnus is gonna win this game. Yeah, he's gonna win this game if he plays it. But again, the thing that we have to remember for those of you guys who are looking at the engines is that just because an engine says something is winning doesn't mean that humans can play the best moves. I mean, it doesn't mean that we can play the best moves like a 3500 stockfish. So that's the thing that you do have to keep in mind here. Why am I surprised? Because for preparation like this, there are multiple players who would play e6, play this e6 system, I feel like, at the top level. I mean, I don't need to name names, but I feel like there are multiple people who could play this at the top level, and so it's just surprising, I mean, to use it here. But on the other hand, for Magnus, if he's not playing the candidates, he's not playing the world championship, why not use it? I mean, when is he gonna have the chance to use this? That's the thing. Like, what, I mean, where else is he gonna use this idea? So yeah, he really wants, he hasn't won it. Yeah, apparently queen a5 is the best. I mean, I don't even understand. It's probably because of g4. There's some c4. Let me put this on Sessa. Let me see. Sessa says, okay, if I go back and move here, okay, Sessa was saying, oh, can I not go back? I don't think I can go back and move. So Sessa won't let me go back, but my assumption is there's something with c4 somewhere is my guess, because of the pin. Whereas here after g4, like, I mean, queen a5 is a really strange move, but apparently queen a5 king f1 is still good for white, but it's all kind of weird. It's just kind of weird. I mean, this whole thing is just weird. So anyway, it is what it is, but let's see what we get from Magnus. Now, the fact that Magnus is thinking here tells me that Magnus has not looked at this line super deep, and this is one of the dangers of looking at computer lines, because you can prepare the main lines. If you know what the next couple of moves are, it's very easy to play, but if you don't know what the next couple of moves are, we cannot play like a stockfish or an alpha 0. So it's very tricky, very tricky. Yeah, very tricky. Will I ever consider commentating chess events maybe like Magnus did? I could do that. Hikaru needs to retire, doesn't get the respect he deserves. I don't care, you guys. I just don't care. I mean, I know what I've done for chess, and I don't need people to like idolize me or be like whatever. Like, I don't need any of that. Like, I know a lot of people think that I do. What's that? Pokey don't care. Yeah, exactly. Yeah, Magnus plays g4. We'll probably get knight f7 here, I assume. And then, I mean, will Magnus play g5, queen e2, or bishop b2 is the question. Actually, g4 is not the best move, is it? Or no, it's g4 first and then knight f7 queen e2, I think, which is correct. Does it feel nice to be home? It feels nice to be home. It feels nice to be back in the US, or back in Florida, at least where my house is, so that's nice. Yeah. Yeah, no, the move, the thing is that it's queen e2 here. That's the big move. But the thing is, for Magnus, he might get confused and want to play g5, because like I was mentioning, I think in one of these positions, if you go like bishop e7, g4, knight f7, I think g5 here is already very strong for white, right? Oh, maybe not. Maybe not, but if black takes, I think this is just very good for white already due to the pawns. So yeah. So anyway, we'll see. What are you doing when you're not streaming or playing chess? I have other businesses that I do stuff in besides chess and streaming, so there's other stuff that I'm doing, or I'm just relaxing and reading books. So yeah. Do I remember my game against Abasov from Title Tuesday 2016? No, I don't remember it, actually. No idea. I'm sure I could look it up easily and find it, but yeah. Yes. So when are you getting married? That's a good question, you guys. I've actually been married for a bit. Unfortunately, the internet, because people just believe whatever they see these days, and I don't mean that in a good way, I mean that in a bad way. People think that I just got married like right before the World Cup, when of course I didn't get married the day before I left the US to go to Baku. So that's the one thing I will say on the topic for anybody who is wondering. I'll also say that because I thought it was funny that when I lost to Prague, there were people saying, oh man, Drew 2500 lost to Prague, he's married, I mean, can't play good chess anymore, which was pretty funny. So yeah, anyway, yeah, let's get back to chess in the meantime. Let's see what we got. Okay, waiting for moves here from Magus, or not Magus, sorry, g4 knight f7. Yeah, we're waiting for a move from Magus after knight f7 played, and then we'll see what's happening. Yeah. Do I think someone said Daryl Morey is a liar or something? I didn't write to Daryl Morey. Of course I do talk to Daryl from time to time. I'm more inclined to think that James Harden is just being a prima donna than anything else, and that's James Harden for you. What do you want me to say? James Harden is James Harden. But I could obviously I mean, maybe I'll write Daryl a message on Book of the Face, maybe. Let me see. Let me write. I'm just gonna write him a message now that you guys reminded me. I'll send him a message. Yeah. So yeah. Anyway, yeah. So back to the game. Waiting for a move from Magnus. Who said he was once married? Who said that? I know what you mean by that. But anyway, whatever, you guys. Life goes on. We continue as always. Doesn't mean there are less streams. Like everything continues as usual. So anyone who thinks that I'm like suddenly stopping streaming or doing anything else, like, sorry, but we just keep going. Streaming is my job. I don't know why people think that I'm gonna like stop streaming suddenly. This is my job. It will always be my job. It pays the bills. So yeah. It's so early. Well, I'm basically on Dubai / like Azerbaijan time. So to me, it's the afternoon. Yeah, it's the afternoon for me. Yeah, a4 is plus 1.52. I mean, apparently every move here is just great for Stockfish and Alpha Zero and Sets and everything. But we are humans. We're humans. We can't always play perfectly. So yeah. There's a lot of talk on Abasov about on Reddit these days. I mean, I'm sure I'll be saying more about it, but there's one very big fundamental difference between, say, Abasov and Hans. That's all I need to say right now. But there's one very big difference that people are missing because some of the narrative has been changed. Let's leave it at that. There's a very big difference with the whole narrative. Yeah, very big difference that people are conveniently trying to ignore. So anyway, all right, so g4 knight f7, we're waiting for a move here, and we'll see what we get from Magnus. Bishop b2 is a move, queen e2 is a move. A lot of options here. Yeah, a lot of options. Why don't you consider yourself a YouTuber but a streamer? Why do you consider yourself a YouTuber or a streamer? Well, because streaming is what I do. Like, I do make videos on on YouTube, of course, but the videos are not the only thing I do. Like, most of my video content does come from streams. So so like it's a little bit different. That's the thing. And again, I haven't changed anything. Like, I make videos for YouTube, but streaming is my main job. It's what pays the bills at the end of the day. No, this is the current position after G4 Knight of 7. Yeah. So, all right. Have I played against Veselin Topalov? Yes, I have. I have played against Veselin Topalov. Great player. He doesn't really play that much anymore, but a very, very strong player. Yeah. So, anyway, you have a very nice strategy of uploading clips. Thank you so much, you guys. I appreciate it. Thank you for mentioning that. So, all right, so I think we're gonna stay here for a little bit longer. We're waiting for a move from Magnus. I will be moving to kick a little bit later on. Let's go to the Fabiano game. Fabiano's game a lot less exciting per se. This is all standard theory, by the way. Still, Black can play knight g6 or knight d7 or trade on b5. Nothing super new yet. Do I regret being a GM? Maybe another job? No, I don't regret being a GM, and I'll tell you guys why I don't regret being a GM. The reason I don't regret being a GM at chess is because being a GM led to me becoming a streamer and making content and getting a proper job rather than simply playing chess my entire life. And so for that reason, I don't regret it at all. That being said, for a lot of GMs, chess is a very difficult lifestyle. I will say that. When you look at it, first of all, like, generally the lifespan of a pro chess player is very limited. Normally you're not going to be able to play at the top past the age of about 40ish. You get no pension at all, so you basically, you're self-employed, so you get almost no benefits at all, and you have a very short lifespan, and you're not making millions of dollars. So it's pretty difficult. Is Shinigami for the 5 months? Appreciate it. Yeah. No, I mean, I'm not actually joking when I say that. Like, it's pretty rough. Like, if you think about a chess player, you assume a chess player, let's say you make $250,000 a year pre-tax. Okay, that's a very, very good living. But when you realize that living only applies potentially for 20 years versus, say, a standard job where you might be making a little over $100,000 between the time you're 40 to 60, it's actually not it's not quite the same. And on top of that, also, like, if you have a normal job where you get 75 to 100K, or after a few years you get that, like, I'm talking about like programming, engineering, these sorts of things. If you have a job like that, like, you're not going to generally get fired. Your job is pretty stable for the most part. Whereas in chess, if you have a couple of bad years and you say fall out of top 20 in chess, you go from 20 to like number 60 or something, very quickly your income dries up. You'll lose like probably 70% of the average. When I say 250K, I'm talking about like the top 10 to top 15 players in the world is what I'm referring to. And if you have a bad season, for example, you have one bad year and you go from like 2750 to 2730, and you lose the invitation to, say, the Grand Chess Tour, just like that, your income's going to fall by 70%, just that quickly. So it's very, very difficult. You look at MVL as a good example, very limited tournaments. So that is the one thing that when we talk about chess, it is very good, it's very rewarding, but the career span is so much shorter. And if you have one bad year, you have like, or even 6 bad months, you very easily can see your income halved, if not more. So that is the drawback to chess, the big drawback. So I mean, it is very good, don't get me wrong. It's like all elite sports, very short time to capitalize, except in an elite sport. You know, if I was really good at tennis for 2 years, I'd probably clear like 5 million at least after taxes, and that would be enough to where I have no reason to complain in the world. But in chess, you're not making that much money. That's the problem. Like, you know, in tennis, you get that sponsorship for 2-3 years from Nike or Adidas or New Balance or any of those companies. Like, you're gonna be good. Like, you might suck and it might go down, but you're gonna be good. You're gonna be good. Let's be clear on that. You're gonna be good. Yeah. So anyway, all right. So back to the chess. Okay, waiting for a move from Prague. He's thinking, I like Fabiano's position, pretty standard, very simple chess. A little bit annoyed, as I said before, because I did consider playing this line against Prague. I rejected it specifically because I did not, even though the computer likes white's chances in some of these g5, bishop g3 lines, I think it's very, very dangerous after knight d7 with h5 or knight h7 as well. So I'm a little bit annoyed by this. Also because, to be honest, I actually looked at this yesterday before my flight as well. So So I'm a little bit annoyed seeing Prague play bishop e6 because now I feel like I should have actually played bishop g5 in my match against him, which I didn't do it. So it is what it is. So yeah. So okay, so Prague plays knight d7, stopping white from playing b6 here, which was one of the ideas that Fabiano had. So okay, Magnus game, we have a move. Magnus plays queen e2, the absolute best move according to Sessa. So we do have queen e2. Why is Sessa not updating? But yes, this I believe is this is the correct line. Computer says white is winning. So with the super strong Sessa supercomputer, I'll put the link again in chat, it says that white is better by 1.5. The game is over. The game is over. Magnus is already completely winning this game. If Magnus is a 4,000 rated Alpha Zero Stockfish, he would win this. Like the 4,000 rated computer would win this game 100 times out of 100 from this position with white. So yeah. Anyway, okay. All right, so moving right along, let's see, what do we have? Fabiano's game, nothing else. Are you gonna play any games? We have the bullet brawl later on. No, Sessa says 1.48 when you put the actual position up here. So it does. Like it says 1.48 in this position for Magnus's game. Again, it's frozen. It's frozen. So yeah, that's what it is. So anyway, from 1,000 games, could you draw Sessa? Not unless it's forced to play certain openings. If Magnus or I played Sessa, actually it doesn't mean Magnus, any of us played Sessa or Stockfish or Alpha Zero from move 1, we would lose every single time. I mean, you guys have to understand that the rating gap is so massive. Like, you guys think that we're actually good at chess, and for humans we are, but Magnus at his peak is 1,150 points lower rated than like a 4,000. I mean, I don't know what the top rated computers are. I don't know if they're actually that high, but let me check top rated chess programs. Let me see. The top I'm just looking to see what the exact ratings are, to be clear, but okay, where do we have it? Let me scroll to the end of this article. What do we have? What do we have? Okay, so it actually says Leela's number 2, Stockfish is number 1 at 3,600. So Stockfish is 3,600. So to give you guys an example, Stockfish is basically 800 plus points better than Magnus Carlsen. 800 plus points. So that's like the equivalent. I mean, like, to give you an example, the difference between, say, myself and Levy or Eric Rosen is about, I think, 450 rating points, and those guys are very good, but the gap between Stockfish and Magnus is even bigger than that gap. Like, the gap is so massive that Magnus just does not understand anything about chess. No human does. So that's why when you look at us as humans, like, we would lose every game. They're just that much better than us. We don't understand anything about chess when we play against them. Levy catching strays, well, I was using Levy and Eric because they're the best examples of people who are significantly lower, but not like out of this world lower. So don't get any ideas in your head. So yeah. How do I feel about Elon removing the block feature on Twitter, forcing you to once again see my tweets at you? Thank you for that, Shaydoc. If Elon actually removes the block feature on Twitter, I will no longer use Twitter. That's like, I mean, that's just ridiculous. I don't know what he's even thinking. So all right, thank you so much to XD5 for the 12 months. Appreciate it. Yeah, so Abasoft thinking here, there's probably queen c7, bishop e7, maybe queen a5 here. Basically the problem is this light square bishop is so passive. That's the big problem, is this a positional masterpiece by Magnus. Thank you so much to Datos for the 33 months. Thank you so much to You Love Rookie for the prime. Appreciate it. Thank you. So yeah, thank you so much to I Am Edgar's for the 4 months. So I think, like other things Elon's done, well, I mean, I still have a position in Tesla, and SpaceX obviously is doing amazing things, but I mean, as far as Twitter goes, yeah, like it's a big mess. So anyway, guys, it's X now. It will always be Twitter. I'm sorry, you guys. You can try to pretend it's something else. It will always be Twitter. Let's be real. That's like if Magnus Carlsen changes his name tomorrow to, I don't know, Sven Owen Henrik III or something. Like I don't know why I said that, but like he changed his name to Sven Owen Henrik III, like something like that, or you know, King Sven Owen III. Like no one's gonna call him that. You're still gonna call him Magnus Carlsen. Like let's be real. That's just the reality. So anyway, yeah. Yeah. Anyway, there probably was like a king or something like Henrik III or Henrik II or something like that. I wouldn't be shocked in like Norway or Sweden. But anyway, thank you so much to Nitog for the tier 1, appreciate it. But yeah, so waiting for a move here. I mean, I think queen a5 is possible just because it makes sense to pin the knight here, but also if white tries the castle, just to illustrate the point, if white tries the castle, you do hang the pawn on a2. So queen a5 has some merit here potentially. The main problem for Abasov is that Magnus is very easy to play. Uno, dos, tres, open up the G file for the rook and castle the king, and it's very scary. Thank you so much to Jen Daddy for the 38 months. Thank you so much to E Holterman for the 35. Appreciate it. Why do gaming brands don't sponsor chess players? Primarily it's because chess has not been an online thing until very recently. I mean, there are two problems. First of all, there's only one top player who streams and competes competitively at the top levels. There's that streamer guy Hikaru who does that, but other than Hikaru, most of their top players, they still compete, but they don't have the presence online. So if you don't have the presence online, it's very tricky. That's the thing. And I'm not saying that to flex, but it's actually tricky. Like it's very hard to justify if you don't have that big audience to begin with. So anyway, waiting for a move here. Let's see what we get. Moving to the other games. Fabiano's game, no more moves after knight d7. Okay, we have did we get a blunder in the women's game already? Wait, did Salimova just hang a pawn in the opening? That's kind of embarrassing, eh? That's a little bit embarrassing to hang a pawn after queen takes c5 is just winning. She's 2400. Yeah, this is where FIDE has entered the chat, or whoever wrote their transgender policy, whoever wrote that is entering chat saying, see, men are better than women, see. So all right, anyway, someone's probably gonna take that and clip that out of context to try and make me look bad, but yes, like whoever wrote that transgender FIDE policy is like, see, I told you. Anyway, unfortunately for Salimova, she's down a pawn and she's in some trouble. So okay, what else do we have? The other game between Muzichuk and Tan Zhangji. This is is this a semi-trash, or no, it's an English opening. Okay, nothing too crazy. Okay, pretty standard so far. So okay, Abasov still thinking, Prague team still going, Goryachkina versus Salimova still going, Muzichuk versus Tan Zhangji. We'll see what we get. So yeah. So all right, you guys, I think on that note, I'm probably going to be moving it over to Kick actually. So we're going to keep covering the games, keep going with everything, but yeah, we'll just be going over to Kick. So I think I'm going to move over to Kick now, and we'll keep covering the games. We do have the bullet brawl later on, and that's what we're going to be doing. So I'm going to move over to Kick now, and I'll see you guys over there. I put the link in chat. I'll put it up again and again, and yeah, let's keep going. So I did about 45 minutes to an hour, so good stuff. So I'm going to move over. The brawl I'm not sure the brawl will be on Twitch or Kick. We're going to move over to Kick. We're going to keep covering the games, and I'll see you over there in a second. So see you there. Bye. All right, you guys, we should be back. I'll just make sure that we're back. We should be back, but let me check if we are. Okay, pulling up chat. Okay, so you guys, we are going to be covering, of course, the FIDE World Cup. We have the men's section. We also have the women's section. So yeah, so we're having a good time, you guys. Hope you guys are enjoying the stream, and we should be live, but I'll double check to make sure that we are live. I think all is good, but I'll double check. Yeah, we should be good. We are very, very good. So all right, you guys, let's get going. Those of you guys who are watching, we are covering the FIDE World Cup as expected. Magnus's game really heating up between Magnus Carlsen and Nijat Abasov. We have Fabiano's game. I'm actually not feeling very inspired by what Fabiano did. He decided to trade the bishop for the knight, which I guess is okay because he wants to play d4 and build a big white center here, but it doesn't feel completely correct to me somehow. Doesn't feel quite right. The bullet brawl is going to be in about 5 hours from now, so quite a ways away. So anyway, you guys, anyway, can I show the opening this game was? This was the classic Gucci piano opening, being played by Fabiano, where you bring the bishop out to c4. Now there are two important things. If white plays d4, this is called the Gucci piano, whereas if you play d3, it's called the Gucci pianissimo, because you're being slower. You're taking it very slow versus going all in trying to take the center right away. Hikaru looking out for his fans and not making us watch so many ads. Yes, exactly. So those of you guys who are watching, one of the big differences between Kick and Twitch is no ads, so you won't get hit with the six unskippable ads at any time during the stream. Additionally, if you do want to sub to the channel, you can use PayPal now. It is available. You don't have to do it solely with the credit card, so you can use PayPal to sub now. Also, for those of us who are streamers, we do get a much bigger cut on Kick with a 95/5 sub split. So okay, no ads equals fun. Yeah, yes, exactly. That's the bottom line. I did see Charlie Moist Critical. He was streaming on YouTube. Like, I think he stopped streaming permanently on Twitch. He was like streaming to like 30k last night. So pretty wild stuff. Now we get d4 here from Fabiano, trying to build a big white center. He also has D's knights here in the center of the board that are very, very well placed. So yeah, Twitch I believe is 70/30. Oh, is the volume softer here? Should I up the volume? I'll ask my mods. Let me see. I think it's probably okay. It's good. Okay, yeah, it's fine. Okay, good. So can someone tell me what time the bullet brawl is? It's at 1 o'clock. Magnus game, we have a move from Abasov. He plays bishop e7 and he's trying to take a safe approach, but the big problem is even if he gets castled here, the big issue is at some point Magnus is just going to push p on the king side and crush him on the g file. And Abasov is a bad bishop, no real attack here. This is very, very bad. This is actually, I think, technically winning for Magnus already. I think Magnus is already winning the game here. Yeah, I would bet you big money here if you want to gamba, as we like to say. I would be gambling big on Magnus to win this game in this position. I'd be gambling big here, depending on what the odds are. Yeah, Magnus is going to go bishop g2 and bishop b2 and castle here on the queen side. Yes, yeah. So play drag. Thanks so much to Turnip Swagger for the 10 gifted subs. Thank you so much to Turnip Swagger. I appreciate it. Thank you so much. I've noticed this multiple times that whenever I switch from Twitch to Kick, the stream is quite laggy. I don't know if it's just me. I thought the stream was actually better generally. The quality on Kick I thought was higher than it was on Twitch. Most people have said that it's better, so it could be on your end. I don't know. But yeah, I mean, the problem here is that Magnus doesn't have to go crazy. He doesn't have to go hog wild. Just bishop b2, castles, and then play for h4 and g5, playing the center of the board, play on the king side. It's just a golden dream here for Magnus. It is better. Okay, yeah. So Kick is like 60 times faster. Okay. No, I mean, the problem for Abasov is he's not respecting Magnus too much. He just doesn't know what the plan is, and there is no plan because you're actually already losing. Have you tried different diets during your career to improve your mood play? I have. I mean, I have gone basically pescatarian for, I think I went pescatarian for about 6 months, maybe a decade ago. I think that's the main one I've tried. I've never tried keto or anything like that, but that was the main one that I tried. I tried avoiding meat for a period of time. But that's the only thing I've really done in terms of diet. So pesky Karen, exactly. Am I a fan of kombucha? I am. How does Kick make money if not through subs or ads? Yes, that remains to be seen how they're going to. My general read of the situation is that I think that with Kick, their long-term plan is that they will have ads at some point. I think that's going to be coming, and I think they're hoping to get advertisers on board down the road. I think that's the assumption. Of course, people will say you know there's something connected to it, and I don't doubt that there is some component of that probably, but I don't think that's the main way that they make money. I think down the road probably they're gonna have to have ads. I do believe that, but I think right now as a startup, they basically as a startup, I think they have like some set amount. Like they're probably not losing endlessly, and they probably have some amount they can burn to try and capture market share. I mean that's what you would say like about all startups. It's all about capturing market share, and then when you need to, you can turn on that. You can turn off the tap. Like Amazon's a good example. I mean, Amazon, if they really wanted to make money, you know, they could just turn off the tap like that on all these different things, and they could just raise the prices by like 50%, and people be like, oh, I mean, we hate it, but we got to pay up because that's just how dominant Amazon is. So yeah, that's my general takeaway. when I started streaming seriously at the end of 2018 October. Big shout out to 3,000 you guys who are watching on this fine Friday morning. Hope you guys are doing very, very well. And we're here covering the FIDE World Cup. Why can't I show Magnus' point of view? You mean the cams or something? I probably could, but I mean I would have to do it here or there. So yeah. It's Saturday. You're right. Yeah, it is Saturday. Okay, let's go back to Fabi's game. We get D4 as expected. Big white center with D's Knights. Probably a small edge for for Fabiano according to the computer, but I'm not super convinced. I mean, something like this and Rook E8 or Bishop B6, and I'm trying to figure out where the advantage is. The black center is very solid, and you've got this nice bishop too. I've had salmonella all week, so I've lost semblance of what day it is. Ooh, that's unfortunate. Actually, I was going to tell you guys separately, like, now that I'm back home, I'll talk about a lot of broad things in more general terms. But, you know, it was a very rough event for me in Azerbaijan. There were many little things going on that were, I mean, some things I couldn't control, some things I could control. But one of the biggest issues I had is that I really was suffering from like diarrhea and just being in the bathroom all the time for most of the event. The Prague match, I think Prague match, the second game I was okay. First game I was not okay, but pretty much all except for maybe like the last day or two when I played Prague, I was really struggling. Like yeah, I was having like diarrhea during the game. Like I was in the toilet all the time. It was pretty rough. And I know that it wasn't just the region, because I was in Byzantium for about 4 or 5 days before going to Azerbaijan for the event. And in Byzantium, I had no issues whatsoever. Like I felt great in Byzantium. So yeah, I mean, it is what it is, but I did struggle a lot. And I also got the sense that, like, I don't know if Wesley had some of the same issues as I did, but Wesley So, who was competing in the event, he definitely was struggling with something too, I think, as well. So yeah. Byzantium, exactly. Yep. Yeah, of course Byzantium is Istanbul in the modern world, but I'm a big ancient history buff, so I love all that stuff. Prague had issues during the blitz with Arjun too, apparently. Oh really? Okay. Yeah, so I mean, I don't know. I mean, I heard something like Matt, you're saying Maga said something. I feel like Fabi said something too. Like I don't know, but you know, at the end of the day, when am I going to introduce Atus to the Kick fam? She does stream on Twitch sometimes, so you can obviously watch her stream on Twitch as well. She streams here or there. So yeah, Forbes article on Wesley betting odds shift for Cheshiam who wants to lose be with his cat. Is that a troll or is that a real thing? Is that a real thing? Wait, is that an actual real thing? Oh my god, that's a real article. Oh boys, we're covering this later. It's a real article. Oh, I'm totally covering this. Oh, I'm covering this later. I'm gonna cover this article. Thank you for that, you guys. Appreciate it. Thank you. That's great. I'm literally gonna make a note of that. Okay, there we go. Yeah, I'll cover that later. That's great. I mean, let's see what happens in the games. Once we reach the moment where all the players are going to start thinking for a long time, then we'll go from there. Salamova is equalized. Wait, what? Wait, Goryachkina traded the queens? What? Yeah, I don't know what this is, you guys. I don't know what this is. Yeah, I will not say anything for obvious reasons, you guys. No, nothing is coming out of my mouth. Nothing is coming out of my mouth here. So yes, nothing is coming out of my mouth. Maybe Fido was right. Okay, so anyway, back to the other, that Fido guy is smirking right now. Back to the other games. Yes. Let's see what we get. Okay, so we're waiting for a move from Magnus. Fabiano's game, I assume that Prague is, the problem with takes maybe is white can also take with a rook and create the classic rectangle box. So maybe you have to go here first, and then takes. Maybe there's some trick. I don't know. Actually, this is looking maybe a little bit more unpleasant than I thought initially, because if white doesn't have to take with a pawn, it's not so clear. Coffee cup, yes, you guys, I have my morning coffee, because even though I'm jet lagged, I'm not completely awake. So it is what it is. Yeah. So your rating is great, higher than your viewers. Well, first of all, it's very early, but secondly we're just getting started. Third, of course, Kick is smaller than Twitch still, but I think more and more people are getting used to it, so it's not about that for me. So yeah, there's knight takes an a5. Yeah, there's takes in knight a5 somewhere potentially. Yeah, so instant coffee from Costco, yes, absolutely. Yeah, so I think Twitch tries to include building community, whereas Kick could focus on being efficient with their money and run like a company, not a politically correct site. I mean, I will just say this though. I'll say this. Like when I was in Dubai the other day, it was I think it was like early. It was like early in the not early in the morning. It's like 10 or 11 in the morning. So it was like midnight in the US basically. And I actually went to the Twitch homepage, and what was the featured stream? Like the stream that was on that center page, like the big banner spot of Twitch, was basically a dating show with a girl wearing like very suggestive. I mean, she's basically wearing like a bikini. Like let's be honest about it. I mean, come on, like let's be honest. Like you're gonna tell me that like all this stuff about Kick is bad, and then like I go and literally Twitch is promoting that. I mean, come on, let's be serious. So yeah, so anyway, okay, waiting for a move from Magnus. Let's see what we get here. We'll see. Could I run 5 came in Dubai? Dubai was way too hot. Yeah, Dubai was way too hot. Yeah. So okay, it looks like we're in the bit of the lull here, right? So all the players are thinking. Magnus using his time. So I think this is when we're going to cover the article. Okay, you guys, let's cover the article. Let's get to the business. Okay, let me pull up the article. Let me change the scene, and away we go. Okay, let me change the scene, and here we go, you guys. Let's start with an article that we're going to cover for a little bit. Okay, here we go. Let me stop the music too. So let's do stop music. Okay, here we go. We have an article from Forbes Betting. Now, I did not know that Forbes actually had a betting section on their website. I'm kind of shocked that Forbes has a betting section, but here we go. Betting odds shift for chess GM who wants to lose, be with his cat. Okay. And then of course, okay, whatever, there's some weird anti-gambling thing, but let's get into the article. All right. When deciding whether to make a sports bet on an individual sport, paying attention to player interviews to see what they might divulge regarding their current form can be helpful. The chess world provided a solid example of that this week. This month in Baku, Azerbaijan, the FIDE World Cup pits more than 200 of the game's best players against one another in an exciting knockout tournament format. The first 2 games of a matchup are classical chess longer time controls, followed by shorter time controls and possible tie breaks. Someone must advance to the next round. Okay. It's kind of weird that you have an article, you guys. It's kind of weird you have an article, but you also have like a Forbes betting section, but you also have you have basically like a what do you call it? Not an advertisement. You have a disclaimer. You have a disclaimer, so it's kind of weird that you have that. But anyway, all right, let's keep going with the article. We'll get back to the games a little bit short in a little bit. Okay, the stakes are high as the top 3 finishers receive entry into the prestigious candidates tournament that determines the next challenger for the Classical World Chess Championship. Also up for grabs is 1,834,000 in prize money distributed across multiple rounds. Now, this is one of the ways that the chess world tries to make it sound really impressive. Like, you see 1.8 million, you're like, wow, chess players get paid super well. But the reality is that the winner of the event gets 128,000. So that money is really distributed heavily, and it's not as impressive as it looks on first glance. You're like, 1.8 million, wow, like these guys get paid lots of money. It's amazing. But again, the winner, which will probably be Magnus Carlsen, only will get 128,000, and that's pre-tax, obviously. Okay, so let's keep going. Cat state of mind. Filipino-American Grandmaster Wesley So, who has achieved the 7th highest rating in the game's history, according to 2700chess.com, has endured a rocky start to his tournament despite his first 2 opponents being much lower rated. Still, So advanced to the 4th round scheduled for Wednesday, thanks to some luck escaping objectively lost positions. Okay. So was remarkably candid in an interview following his victory in the round 3 tiebreak on Monday. He said he wanted to go home. Now I think that for sure makes a big difference as well, because when you saw Wesley's play, and I was watching, of course, because I was playing the event, he definitely was not playing at his best. Now whether that was because of cats or something else going on with like being in Azerbaijan, hard to know, but it was very clear that he was not on form. The World Cup does not pay appearance fees to anybody, no. And also you pay for your hotel. Basically you can either pay for your hotel separately, or you can take your hotel out of the prize pool. So for example, let's just say Magnus wins the tournament and wins $128,000. He will have one room for the whole event, which basically will span, let's just say 30 days to keep it really even. So essentially Magnus, I think the hotel room was about 120, maybe 115, 120 a night. So let me just use an even number of 100 just to keep it very clean. Magnus will basically make $125,000 because the hotel will cost $3,000. So you're paying for your hotel room. You can take it out of the prize fund or pay it separately, but that you do have to pay for that. And of course your transportation, or not transportation, but airfare and everything, you're paying for that as well. So the only thing you get is the prize money, just to be very clear. All right, let's keep going. Now of course that also makes it very, if you don't go very deep, you make like $4,000 or $8,000 is pretty rough as well. So at least it's tax free taken from the prize pool. The hotel, I guess, yes, but your actual prize money is taxed. You're gonna get taxed on that. So let's keep going. All right. Okay, so said he wanted to go home. Why can't you find your form in these moments of the tournament, the interviewer asked. And then it goes on. It says you don't actually know what form you're in until you go into the tournament, and it's very hard to repair once you're in the middle of it, but it is what it is. So replied. So of course he has watched a lot of streams on Twitch and YouTube. I think he's watched mine a lot, so of course he has adopted this great saying from the famous streamer Hikaru, because that is the great saying. I mean, it's almost a meme at this point. It is what it is. I'm here in Baku with my mother, and we're doing the best we can and just playing hard, just trying to do well. But at the same time, I have new kittens at home. I was actually hoping that Jesus, excuse me. Wait a second. I was actually hoping that Jules, my opponent, would win today, but I want to play and I don't want to just resign. Okay, yes. I don't want to resign. Okay. Let's keep going. Sherman needs more coffee. Yes. Like a true cat lover, So added that his travel as a professional chess player has him missing out on time with his pets during a formative time in their lives. Okay, so what Wesley wants to be with his cats, right? Very clearly during a formative time in their lives. They're Birdman kittens. So added, my old cats passed away at 21 years old last year. They're very nicely only 4.5 months old. It's unfortunate I'm not there when they're growing up. First of all, 21 years, like, what are they feeding that cat? Like, oh my god. I mean, I remember when I was growing up in New York, there was one neighbor that had a cat that lived to be like 19, but I feel like anything above 15 is pretty insane. They must be feeding that cat like something special. So yeah, 21 is pretty old. So okay, anyway, it says it's unfortunate I'm not there when they're growing up. Now, of course, to be fair, it's only like 1 month. Now, I don't know if cats are like dogs necessarily. Like, I'm not sure, because I know for dogs, one human year is like 7 years for dogs. So I don't know like what if it correlates directly, but he wants to be there when they're growing up. Okay. It appears some sports bettors picked up on his heartwarming comments. The odds changed significantly. So will sit at the chessboard on Wednesday in round 4 against 23-year-old Russian GM Alexei Sarana. So's opponent entered the match as a number 49 ranked chess player in the world per 2700 chess. The 29-year-old So is currently number 7. At B1 Sportsbook, affiliated with BetMGM Sportsbook, So opened at minus 350 betting odds with Sarana at plus 230. However, it was only a matter of hours before the odds changed to minus 250 for So and plus 180 for Sarana. Now, that's actually very interesting that the odds shifted that much. I would say that the odds shifting, I don't think it necessarily has to do with Wesley wanting to lose. I think it's more of the fact that Wesley was playing very bad chess. And I think that probably some GM out there, like probably some IM or GM, probably made a big bet. They probably saw Wesley's games. They saw he's not playing well, and then they combined it with the comments. But I don't think it was solely due to Wesley's comment that the odds shifted this much. It doesn't seem realistic to me. I think it's probably Wesley was playing poorly, and probably the market was very thin. So if someone came in and bet like $1,000, it probably shifted the odds immensely. Is my best guess. So that's my general takeaway from that little bit about the odds shifting. Because again, the problem is you can't. I've said this before. The problem with betting in chess, very specifically, is you can't have it in volume, because it's too easy to shift it. So I'll give you a good example, and we'll go back very quickly to the game, but like I'm going to give you an example. Okay, let me change the scene for 1 second. As we look at this position between Magnus Carlsen and Nijat Abasov, I would tell you right here that as a super strong GM who's really who plays a lot of chess, like I'm very strong, I understand how the game goes. When I combine the position, I look at the safe king that Magnus has here, the lack of activity for the bishops, the fact that it comes down to basically one pawn push basically in the center. It's like g5 h4 e4 f5 and the safe king white. I would already here be making a huge bet on Magnus to win the game, even though I bet the odds right now do not give Magnus huge chances. I would probably come here and I'd plop down like 20 grand on Magnus winning the game. And so I would shift the odds immensely, and I'd probably break the bank at some point if I could take advantage of these intricacies. So this is the big problem. And there's also the problem as well. Getting back to the article now. The big problem as well, separately, that has to be said, is that there's a problem that at the end of the day, the prize money is not justifiable relative to how much you could make for throwing a game. That's the problem. So like, for example, be right back. I'm going to go bet on stake right now. I don't think stake has betting on chess, and I think all these sites that have chess betting, it's fairly limited. I mean, that's the big problem though. It is a big problem. I'm being serious about this. Is that, for example, I'll give you an example. I played the World Cup. I lost in round 4 to Pragnanta, and I made $16,000. Okay, I made $16,000. But I'm pretty confident that if I could figure out, if I could watch these games and at the critical moments make proper bets, and there's a cap, even if there's a cap of like 5 grand, I'm pretty sure I could make more than 16 grand like today. I'm pretty sure I could. Maybe not today because there are only 2 games, but if there were like 8 games or 16 games, like there were a bunch of games going on in the World Cup, I'm pretty confident that I could make a lot more than that just because of my knowledge. Just because of my knowledge and looking at the evaluations relative to like understanding the players and these things, that I could. And then there's the other problem also, that frankly, what happens if someone wants to be unethical, and you find your friend and you say, okay, I'm gonna go out all night, I'm gonna smoke some hookah, I'm gonna go smoke some hookah at like a bar in Azerbaijan, I don't care about the match, maybe I'll show up and play like a4 on move 1, maybe whatever, I'll just have a good night. You tell your good friend, often like, I don't know, Cyprus or Panama or one of these places, and they go and they find a way to bet, like the bet periodically throughout the game, or create a few accounts or whatever. Like, I'm just saying, like you could probably do it and make more money than you're gonna make from winning the match. So I'm very, very skeptical about betting in chess at any kind of volume. Very, very skeptical about it. You can't bet while the game is going on. Maybe you personally can't bet. Like, obviously you're playing, so you can't, because you're in a room playing the game of chess. But like, you could have a friend. As a Cypriot, I feel offended. Okay, I'm sorry if I offended all the Cypriots here. But the point is, I think because the prizes are not high enough, there's not enough. There's no way to truly control it. Yeah, I'm talking about both. I'm talking about match fixing, but I'm also talking about, frankly, just like even for myself watching these games, betting on these games. I think it's very beatable. I don't think there's a way that if you limited it like a couple $100, I think it's possible. But if it's like not limited, like 5k or 10k, I'm pretty confident I could just bet on some of these games where the bar says it's like +1, and so the line is going to, in the middle of the game, show white is winning, and I'm gonna look at the position. I'm gonna know that, like, for humans, it's not winning the way that a computer says it is, and the odds makers don't understand it, so I can take total advantage of that. So that's why I'm very, very skeptical that you can ever have betting in any kind of like serious volume to where like it becomes a real thing in chess. I just don't think it's possible. So, all right, we'll get back to it in a second, but let's finish the article. We have a little bit more. Okay, by the way, the dramatic shift in odds. Wesley did lose this match, to be clear. He did lose this match. Just so everyone who's wondering about the odds shifting, Wesley did lose this match. So it says that's a dramatic odds shift in a sport that doesn't have injuries. Later on Tuesday, the match was taken off the odds board. Oh, it was taken off the odds board? Wait, it's unclear if it'll be reposted. Wait, what? Okay, that's taking it too far. That's taking it too far. I'm gonna be honest. That's just taking it too far. That's just taking it too far. That's like taking off the odds board. Like what are they like trying? I mean, what are they saying? They're saying that Wesley wanted to lose that badly. That seems weird. This happens all the time. They don't even put lines on many matches when they're unsure. Okay. Yeah, that's actually kind of weird. The other round 4 games were still available for wagering. The odds maker didn't immediately respond for comment when contacted by Forbes Betting. Will So win or lose in round 4 against Serrano? It's impossible to predict, and even if he has his beloved cats on his mind, So could win. He's one of the strongest chess players in history. Still, bettors who got the more motivated Serrano at plus 30 have to like their wager. Well, they actually love their wager because, as we know, Serrano won game 1 of the match, and he did win the match, so they love their wager. The match, one of many round 4 pairings, could be about 50-50, all things considered. On Tuesday, So had plus 2,000 odds of B win to win the entire tournament. Magnus Carlsen, the world's undisputed best chess player, was the favorite to win first place with plus 110 odds. Carlsen was also favored to win his round 4 game on Wednesday. Okay, so yeah, interesting article. I mean, again, you never know why they took it off the board. That's kind of weird, but anyway, good article. So I hope you guys enjoy the article. So we're going to get back to the chess now, but before we do, just one last point. I mean, I just don't think you can have chess if it's like a cap at maybe $1,000. You can have betting, but if there's no cap or you have like $5,000, I think it's going to be very easy to take advantage of it. So that's just a little bit that I have to say on the topic, but it's a good article nonetheless, and it's more interesting because Wesley did lose the match. So it's like they put this article out and then it's like the odds shifted and then Wesley lost. But as we know, Wesley just got outplayed. There's nothing like sinister or anything else going on. So back to the chess. Let's move right back along. I'll change the scene and I'll put the music back on, and here we go. So let's get going. So all right, here we go. So we have some more moves in the game between Magnus and Abasov, and we'll go from there. We got queen a5, c4, g5, h4, h6 being played. Did Magnus blunder? Apparently Magnus's advantage is not as big as it once was, and I think the reason it's not as big as it once was is because even though black has this bad light square bishop which has no diagonals anywhere here, you can't really break through on the king side, and the center is very compact, so you have no pawn breaks. Like white can't play d4, for example. Like d4, I just take the pawn, so you don't have a pawn break here, you don't have a pawn break here. Even if you move the knight, where's your pawn break? If you ever go f4, I just take. So problem is you really don't have any pawn breaks, and my center is so compact here that it's very hard to do anything. So for that reason, it's not as great as it looks. That being said, I assume Magnus is still a little bit better here. We're probably gonna get castle. C4 was a mistake. Oh, you know why C4 was a mistake? I'll tell you guys why C4 was a mistake. Probably it's a mistake because at some point you want to go like, I'm just going to illustrate this just randomly to set it up, but at some point you probably want to play knight c4, or actually let's say black was g5 just to stop it. Let's say you get g5 here. There's probably gonna be something with c3, like knight c4, and maybe d4 down the road. Now this exact position doesn't really like works, the king's on c1, but I think there's probably something with c3, d4, or maybe even potentially there's something with like knight e4 and you use the diagonal, like maybe you get something like this and then queen c3 to go bishop a3, maybe something like this. I don't know if it's to play c3 d4 or if it's to use the actual c3 square, but there's some reason that it was better. But that being said, it's still decent for Magnus. Probably we're gonna get castles here, I would assume, although black could play king d7 as well. You could go king d7 to connect the towers because the center of the board is very closed here. So yeah, could I beat Stockfish with knight odds? Yes, I could. I can beat Stockfish with knight odds. Generally the differential where humans can't beat computers, and I've done this actually, I did this maybe a couple of years back, it's give or take about 2 pawns. 2 pawns is where basically we can't win. If you give us a knight or 3 pawns, generally we can beat the computer, but 2 pawns we still generally lose most of the time. So yeah, so he is home. Nice. Yes, you guys, I am home. Yeah, I am home. In classical chess, in bullet, no chance. In bullet, probably not. Bullet, probably no chance. But I mean, actually hard to judge though, because with a piece advantage you could just trade off pieces very quickly, so I don't know. I assume you castle or go king d7. I don't know which one he'll play, but one of these two makes sense. Yeah, if you had to guess the Elon scheme without knowing who's playing, what would it be? It'd be pretty high just because the opening, the opening looks like no beginner would play rook g1. Like no beginner would play rook g1 and g4, and it's already very theoretical with this opening of b3 and e5. So for that reason, it's pretty clear it has to be a very high level game. In fact, actually, if I saw this game right now, like if I didn't know who was playing, I would think it's probably like a Stockfish or Alpha Zero. I think it's some like it was one of those computer games from a TCEC event. That's what I would think. So okay, so we get castles, not too surprising. Magnus can castle and give up the pawns after king c2. I guess that you get the open a file here. There's like maybe you can go for the legendary double stack. You also bishop c3, bishop a5. So I think white's actually doing quite well. So I think Magnus will castle. I expect it. Yeah, we will be covering MasterChef later on. We will. Yeah. Why does kick not work properly on Mac and iPad? I think it's because kick is having to deal with the issues one issue at a time. Like I think, yeah, like basically casting and or full screener. I assume that's probably the next big thing. What I think the biggest thing was basically getting PayPal so that people can sub and you don't have to use your credit card directly. I think that's the biggest thing. I could pull up the cams briefly if you guys want me to, but right now we're just gonna keep it like this. Main issue is not having on TV. Yeah, the casting is a big problem. I agree. So but let's see what we get. Also, it is still beta. I know like I've been streaming here now for about 6 months, but it is still beta. Am I guaranteed a spot in the cans? No, it's basically a 2-horse race for the rating spot, assuming Magnus doesn't play, between myself and Gucci Reza, or also known as Ali Reza Farouja. Basically, the two of us have the highest rating. So one of the two of us is probably going to qualify by rating. Just a question of which one it will be. So let's see. Okay, waiting for a move from Abyssal. Probably you don't want to take the pawn, like I said, because this extra pawn does nothing other than give white an open file. And I mean, this position looks really scary here. Like even after a6, bishop c3, it looks scary. I mean, maybe a computer can laugh in your face and it'll say who cares, but for us humans, it doesn't look correct. Also, you know, another reason I think c4 was wrong is because it creates a weakness. This pawn here is a serious weakness because of the rook on d8. So maybe that's another reason it's not so good. Can I talk about Prague Fabiano? Of course I can. Sorry, let me just move all the boards around. We got what I expected. Queen e6, queen e3 is played. Will Prague trade on b5 or not is a big question here as well. Yeah. Do I have enough games? If I don't have enough games after Isle of Man, I would probably play a tournament somewhere in the US and get the games. So yeah, I feel bad about the way you lost in the World Cup. Of course it sucks, but it was just a mistake, and I mean it happens. It happens. Yeah. So if Ali Reza wins the Grand Swiss, you'll be guaranteed a spot by rating. Pretty much, yes, pretty much, yeah. So yeah. So let's see what we get here from Prague. Fabiano qualified, which is very good for me as well. I didn't do it for the memes. No, I mean he played a good game, but the problem is essentially like, you know, it's very hard to explain this in a high level way, because if I explain the game in a high level way, people think that I'm just not giving credit and being like salty about it. But the fact is, from a high level standpoint, I played an opening where there was no margin. If I had played perfectly, I probably would have had an advantage potentially. But if I make one big mistake where I confuse the move order like in the game, I just lose. And it's not like Prague had to do anything. I basically I lost the game all on my own. So that's the one thing, kind of it's disappointing when you lose like that, because when you do that, it's just like your opponent didn't have to beat you. They basically, I confused the move order and I lost the game because of it. But I mean it's what it is. So yeah, it's just what it is. So yeah, I mean it's what it is. Obviously I should have played something where I had more margin. I mean in retrospect it's always easy. How did Fabiano qualify? Because the top three qualify, since Magnus Carlsen is not playing the candidates. That's why. So all the players left are qualified. Pragnananta is qualified, Nijat Abyssal is qualified, and of course Fabiano is also qualified. So all three of them are qualified to play already. So yeah, that's what we have. After the World Cup, Hikaru will play 9 Alex. Yeah, I'm going to be playing 960 chess in St. Louis in about, I think, 3 weeks or thereabouts. Do I regard chat as single caprice entity or numerous unique individuals? Generally, I look at it as individuals, but I mean, could be wrong. So yeah. So why doesn't Magnus want to go? Because he literally doesn't care. Magnus is playing this event because he wants to win the World Cup. He's never won it. So yeah, that's the point. The rating spot, assuming Magnus doesn't change his mind, although actually, you know, if Magnus finishes in the top 3 here and then changes his mind, I assume he gets a spot from the World Cup. Again, like I don't even know how it all works out. Like if Magnus changes his mind, it's really going to mess everything up, because then I don't know if he qualifies by rating. Does he qualify from the World Cup? Like I mean, it's really not clear. So yeah, so we'll see. Will Abbassov be the weakest candidate on paper? Yes, by rating he will be, but we'll see. So yeah, I don't know. I'm gonna be honest. I don't know what the situation is in Salimova's game, because it's the other game, the women's event. Salimova blundered 2 pawns. Goryachkina didn't take the pawn on c5, completely insane. And I assume that now we're in an end game, probably knight f4, bishop c4, probably going to be a draw here. I would say probably going to be a draw. So if you don't have 50 million, what is your net worth, Hikaru? Not 50 million, that's for sure. If I was worth 50 million, I'd probably buy both a Bugatti, and then I'd probably also buy one of the apartments in the Bugatti complex in Dubai. So yeah, I'm definitely not worth 50 million. So okay, anyway, this game looks pretty boring. Other game pretty boring too. So we'll keep our eyes on the two men's games. So yeah. Magnus's issue is with the format. Magnus doesn't like traditional classical chess. I think also this is faster, to be fair. Like the world championship and candidates have a very slow time control. Like in this control, it's an hour 30 for the first time control, and then it's 30 minutes rest of the game. I believe in the candidates it's 2 hours is the first control, and then it's like 30 minutes or 1 hour for the second, and there might even be a third control as well. So yeah. Anyway, so waiting for a move here from Abbassov. I'm guessing he'll play something like queen c7, maybe king b8, maybe rook d7 you don't really want to play because then the h file opens. I think queen c7 feels like the most human move to me. I mean, maybe Abbassov will play king b8, but something like that. Also king b8, you feel like there might be some weird tactic here with something like takes, and you might end up walking into the pyramid of Giza here, where you lose your rook on h8. So king b8 feels a little bit iffy just because of the tactics involved on the diagonals, but apparently it's okay. Actually, computer thinks it's the best move. I would probably go queen c7 personally, so we'll see. Magus says he's not going to play the current format. He wants a quicker time control. It's that simple. He wants a quicker time control. That's all it comes down to. Yeah. Candy. Just reading through the regulations last year, assuming they would follow similar pattern. I mean, they're gonna have the same pattern. They're not gonna change it. That's for sure. So yeah, I don't know, but the thing is, Magnus is not on the Bobby Fischer arc because he's still playing. I don't think Magnus intends to quit chess, just to be clear, because people have been talking about that. They're saying that Magnus might retire from classical chess. I don't think he wants to retire from classical chess. I think he just doesn't like the format, and he's just not going to play that many tournaments. That's all. TikTok affects even making its effect in chess time controls. Well, the problem with chess is not it's not that. The problem is technology and the preparation, where players can play 30 moves in like 2 minutes. If you can play 20 moves in the first like 10 minutes of the game, for example, that gives you over an hour for 20 more moves, and with that much time, it's going to be blunders are going to be very rare at the top, at the very, very top level. That's the problem, is when players can play 20 quick moves, it defeats the purpose of having all that time in the first place. Like if you go back to the very early days of chess, the reason players had so much time for their moves is because there was no technology. Generally, you were out of your opening preparation around like move 5 or 6, so you need to make 30 moves in like an hour 30, hour 40 minutes. It's very reasonable that you need that much time, but now because of the preparation, players can play 10, 15, 20 moves, even more sometimes, in the first couple of minutes of the game. And so then why do they have all this time? They shouldn't have all this time. It defeats the whole purpose, like when you look at the historical reason for having so much time. So yeah, in the 1800, players were in the tank by move 3, maybe not move 3, but by move 5, absolutely. Like I can also give you an example. When I was much younger, I remember like in the early days, like the late 90s, I would watch some of the top boards of the Grandmaster games, and there were many games where players were on like move 8 or move 9, and they'd already spent half an hour of their time. It was very common, actually. They'd spend like 30-40 minutes on the first 8 or 9 moves, and then like you'd have a big time scramble. The game would be very exciting, but nowadays that just never happens. And also from a viewer perspective as well, if you really want more money in chess, you want more money in chess, you want top players to be paid better, this is the way you do it. It's from viewership. That's why. Yeah, actually, also in the old days, for everybody who's new to chess, there were these things called adjournments as well. So after like 4 hours, the game would be adjourned and finished the next day. You'd go back to your room, you'd analyze it with your trainers, and then you'd come back the next day and you'd finish the game. So in the old days, there were actually adjournments. Now with computers, of course, you can't do that, but there used to be adjournments as well. So yeah, a lot of people probably aren't aware of that, but then in the old days, games actually, if you played for like 4 hours, the game would be stopped and then you come back the next day and you would finish it. Yeah, we actually, that was in Queen's Gambit. There in Queen's Gambit, there was a spot where the game was stopped, and I think there was a stop, and they sealed the envelope when Beth Harmon goes and analyzes with the guides, right? Yeah. So yeah, I mean, it was a thing. Now, of course, if you didn't play chess 20 years ago, you don't even know what it is. Like, it's crazy. Like, I think a couple of tournaments I played had adjournments when I was very young. There were a couple tournaments that did. I had a game that I played in Milwaukee, actually. I forget which tournament it was. It was maybe like 2001, 2002. There was actually an adjournment. I had an adjournment, and my game went like 5 hours, and it was like a tricky end game. And then when we stopped the game, I played my evening game, and then after the evening game, I went and finished that first game. So yeah, it was yeah, no, I mean, adjournments you can't have adjournments anymore. But the thing is, like, if you got into chess in the last like 10-15 years even, you don't know what they were. Like, for example, I'm not using him on purpose, but like Levy is so young that like Levy never lived in a world with chess where there were adjournments. Like, that's the thing. Like, adjournments are just like haven't been a thing. So yeah, it just depends on the generation you're from. But the modern generation, like, they don't even know what adjournments are, and it's insane, actually. It's insane. Yeah. So all right. No, and that's actually not, like, that's not an insult for those of you who think it is. It's not an insult. It's just showing that someone who's like, he's like, what, 7 or 8 years younger than me, but he's not that much younger than me, but like, adjournments are not something that he ever encountered at all. Like, and that's even with like a 7-8 year gap. So it's like the generation, like, you think about it, it's like amazing how certain things get completely lost. So yeah, young people are young. Huge insult. Okay, yes, yeah. So anyway, let's see what we get here from Abasov. He's still thinking here, and we'll see what the next moves are. We got Queen E3, Rook B8 being played in the other game. So where is Ding? Ding is not really playing much. Yeah, I remember watching chess tournaments on PBS in the mid-2000s. They did adjournments, even those players going over strategy over dinner. Yeah, I mean, it was very different. Why am I so careful mentioning Levy? Well, because there are a lot of Levy stands who think anything I say about him is some kind of like insult. That's the thing. So yeah, I did not watch PogChamps yesterday. No, I didn't. So yeah, Ding hates time controls. No, Ding doesn't hate time controls. Ding is Ding does not hate the time controls. I think he's just burned out from the world championship, and he doesn't have to play. That's the thing. He doesn't have to play. Ding is not a bad world champion, you guys. Ding is a very strong player. He's just not he's a very strong chess player. He's just unfortunately lives in an era when there's someone who's ridiculously good. That's the thing. Yeah, I mean, that's the thing. I mean, Ding is a very strong player, very close to 2800, amazing player. The only problem is we live in an age where there's someone who's just that much better. I mean, it's true for all of us. It's true for myself. It's true for Fabiano. It's true for Ding. I mean, it's true for Nepo. Like, all of us, like Levon, Aroni, another player, like, for all of us, if Magnus didn't exist, our careers would look much better. Like, our careers would look amazing, actually. They'd look much better than they do, because unfortunately there's this one guy who's ruined it for all of us. Isn't that every era? Probably true too. Yeah, I mean, yes, like, it's true. Yeah, there's that one guy who basically, yeah, he makes all our careers look a lot worse. That's the only problem. That one guy. Yes. So okay, anyway, okay, apparently Rook B8 was not the best move by Prague. I don't really understand why. I guess computer just wants to just play H3 and very quietly ignore everything, but I don't really understand it. Ding will defend his title, because why not? That gives him like an extra $800,000. Why not? Yeah. So okay, waiting for a move in Magnus' game, waiting for a move here. The women's game looks pretty slow. The other game fairly slow too. So yeah, he's too OP. Yeah, I feel like that's how most sports go. One or two players tend to stand above the rest by a margin. LeBron, MJ, for example. That's true. Yeah, I mean, that is definitely true. I mean, without Michael Jordan, I mean you assume like Magic Johnson might be the greatest player of all time, if not for MJ. And of course, also my beloved New York Knickerbockers would have won a stupid NBA title if not for MJ as well. Although they fudged it up in '93, unfortunately. But anyway, that's, yeah, we're getting way off topic. But yeah, I think you guys get the point that I'm saying. Yeah, I think you guys get the point. Yeah. So, do I have still a chance to qualify? Of course I can qualify. Yeah. Yes. Yes. Yeah, I grew up a Knicks fan, so I had a lot of painful memories in the mid to late 90s. A lot of painful memories. You always watch, and like there were so many games where the Knicks were actually like pretty close, but somehow at the end of the game they would always hold very close, but at the end of the game they couldn't do it. Yeah. So the Knickerbockers, yeah, the New York Knickerbockers, exactly. So Ali Reza should have been the next Magnus, but COVID stopped his natural development in chess. No, I don't think that's what stopped his development. I think for Ali Reza, he went down a weird path going into the candidates. The 9 months before the FIDE candidates tournament last year, he did not play at all. As soon as he qualified from the Isle of Man tournament, he basically fell off the face of the earth and he stopped playing. And I think that was probably the biggest mistake, is that he stopped playing tournaments. And then when he didn't do well in the candidates, I think it just all kind of it went in the wrong direction. That's the simple answer. I don't think it was COVID that stopped him. I think it's the fact that when he qualified for the candidates, he stopped playing tournaments. Basically, he put all his chips on qualifying for the World Championship from it, and that was, I think, a big mistake. And then he was burned out, and he hasn't been the same since. He's still very, very strong, but like the absolute rise with which he was going at is, I think, gone forever. He'll be a very good player, but the chance of him getting like 2850, 2900, I just don't see it happening. I don't see it happening. So that's my general takeaway from Ali Reza. The player to watch right now is actually Gukesh. Gukesh is the player to watch right now. Gukesh is the player to watch because he's had a very, very fast rise. Like, Gukesh's rise is very much on par with Ali Reza and Magnus, and it's actually kind of odd to me. I mean, I know the Indians have so many strong players, but so many people are not talking about Gukesh. When, like, I feel like when Magnus was having his rise the way that Gukesh is, everyone was talking about Magnus, and it might just be because, you know, there's so many good Indian players, but I feel like a lot of people are sleeping on how good Gukesh is and how he could be the one who breaks through like that. Obviously, I mean, everyone's talking about Prague because he qualified, and Gukesh lost to Magnus, but I think that I think that Gukesh right now is the one to watch in terms of someone who's at that level where they could have a massive breakthrough. So we'll see, of course, what happens. Still waiting. Noterbeck overrated. I don't know if Noterbeck is overrated. I feel like with Noterbeck, his style of play, I don't something with his style of play doesn't feel quite right in the last like 6 to 12 months. I can't even quite pinpoint what it is, but something with his style just doesn't feel right. Because Gukesh looks 35, everyone forgets how young he is. That is true. Yeah, Gukesh does look like he doesn't look like he's 17. Let's put it that way. That is true. He does not look like he's 17. So yeah, people see him like, okay, just some 30-year-old guy. He's 2750. Who cares? No big deal, right? Yeah. Yeah, that's what it is, obviously, with Gukesh. I mean, you look at a picture of Gukesh and you're like, yeah, he's like 30 years old. 2750 is nice, but okay, what's the big deal? So, all right. Anyway, Abislav using a lot of time here on this move. I think it's a tricky spot. King B8 or Queen C7, I think, are probably the only two like logical moves in my opinion, but there might be other moves. Kamer looks older, but he doesn't look that much older. Yeah. So, I mean, maybe he's looking at Queen A2, but I mean, again, Queen A2, I feel like after looking at it for 30 seconds, you realize it's just very, very bad. So, all right. Prague looks 12. Gukesh looks 35. I mean, Prague doesn't look like 12, but yes, Gukesh definitely doesn't look like he's 17. That's for sure. Yeah. So, okay, so both games still waiting for moves. Prague's game, no more moves after Rook A B8, so we're waiting for a move here. So, what else are you guys asking? You're probably asking me something that I'm not seeing, but anyway, Gukesh looks 25 max. I mean, whatever, it doesn't matter either way. So, but we'll see. Move predictions, like I said, King B8 or Queen C7 are my move predictions. I think both moves are playable. What happened to Nihal? Nihal got very unlucky. He was actually beating Nepo in the Rapids in the first tiebreak game, and then he not only turned it from a win into a draw, but then into a draw into a loss, and unfortunately wasn't able to keep it together. Fabi's game is fine. The problem for Fabi here is he's gotten the maximum. He's gotten like the big white center. He's got great knight placement. Queens are well placed. Rooks are pretty much perfectly placed. But now what? I mean, what do you do now is the problem. Whereas Prague basically just reacts to whatever Fabi does it. Fabi trades, he just reacts. Like if you trade and go knight a5, for example, there might be some queen e2, maybe some rook b1, but Fabi has to come up with a plan, and Prag's moves are all reaction to it. So Prag doesn't actually have to come up with a plan here. He just reacts to whatever Fabiano does. I have been asking what do you think of God? I can't say this, I'll say it once. Based on what is mentioned in the news, Magnus is not going to play the Kansas. That'd be unfair for everyone he beat. Yeah, so that's on Twitter, right? I think that's on Twitter. That was on Twitter, right? I'll pull that up quickly just so you guys can see it. Yeah, it's right here, right? Yeah, this was the Gada tweet. I'll pull it up here. This was from God. It says let me stop the music for a second. It says okay, I'll just say it once. Based on what is mentioned in the news, Magnus is not going to play in the candidate. Then it would be unfair for everyone he beat in the World Cup not to be given another shot at the candidate spot, as they all deserve it. Let them all compete for it. Now the thing, there are a couple problems here. First of all, fundamentally, I think Gada is right with his take. Just to be clear, I think Gada is right with his take, but you have a problem in the chess world that basically you can't really necessarily prevent players from playing when you don't have that many top level events. So it's like with Gada saying this, like you could say Magnus shouldn't be playing, you could say Nepo shouldn't be playing. It's no different than when people get angry at me. They're like they're basically saying like, well, why is Hikaru playing these bullet qualifiers or these things when he's already qualified? He shouldn't be allowed to play. It's the exact same situation. I mean, my general takeaway is that there's really no happy answer. Either FIDE has to basically say no, like Magnus can't play, Nepo can't play, etc., or they have to say you can play. But the problem is at the end of the day that Magnus is the most important person in the world of chess. Whether you like it or not, he is the most important person, and the world of chess is going to bend over backwards for him. That's just reality. So I don't think you can ever say that Magnus can't play in this event. At the same time, I do feel very badly for Gukesh. I feel badly for Gukesh because he got screwed. I mean, if Gukesh plays somebody else, like I think Gukesh has a great chance to finish in the top 4, but of course he was the unlucky guy who has to play Magnus. So yeah, I mean, I don't know. You want to get a spot, beat Magnus, you can say that, but why wouldn't Nepo be allowed to play? Because Nepo has already qualified for the candidates too. Nepo qualified from losing the match to he lost the match to Ding. So Nepo was already also qualified, but at the same time there aren't enough tournaments. So it's like, what are you supposed to do? You're saying like you can't. I mean, they can't play these events. Like, I mean, it's going to rear its ugly head again, by the way. For those of you guys who are wondering, it's going to rear its ugly head again in the Isle of Man, which is another qualifier tournament that Magnus is playing. And if Magnus is like leading the tournament towards the end, and he plays like Gukesh or Alireza or myself or something like that, we're gonna have the exact same problem. So I don't know what the answer is. I mean, I don't know what the answer is. I don't, because there are multiple players who are playing, so who knows. Yeah, I don't like restricting players anyway. I mean, I feel like that's a problem with the format, though. That's more on FIDE to change the format, personally, is what I think. They should change the format. The answer is to figure out how to make Magnus want to be world champion again. Oh, that's also true. You can say that that's the problem, is that basically FIDE isn't changing the format. They're being really stubborn, and Magnus is like basically making a mockery of them for having that stance. You could say that too. That is true. Yeah, Queen C7 played after a long think. This is the move that I was expecting Abasov to play, and he does play it. So apparently it's not best. Don't ask me why, because I guess Queen E4. Why is it so good? I mean, I guess maybe you got the Queen. I could see that. Maybe like Queen E3 and Knight E4 ideas here are lurking. Yeah, terrible world championship format, period. Yeah, I mean, I think that's probably the answer, actually. The answer is simple. The answer is find a way so that Magnus wants to play. That's actually the answer. But I mean, FIDE already they already basically they already refused to make changes for Magnus when he was the world champion. So I don't think FIDE is going to make changes. I think they're too stubborn in their thinking, and there's a good chance we could just have this problem for the next like 10 years potentially. Yeah, I mean, we could have this problem for 10 years because the fact that FIDE was unwilling to make a change for Magnus when Magnus was the world champion, like if they were unwilling to make the change when Magnus was world champion and actually had all the power, like I don't think FIDE is going to suddenly change now. I don't think so, but we'll see. The other problem as well is that it's not even just that Magnus is the best player. He's the best player by a big margin. Like if Magnus were the best player by like 10 points or something, you can make some argument that like, okay, it doesn't really matter. But when Magnus is the best player by 50 points, and he's been the best player by 50 points for the last, like, I don't know, 10 years or something, it's like it's an issue. If Magnus was just barely the best, it wouldn't be an issue. But the fact that he's best by the big margin makes it very tricky. So I remember there was a golf tournament, Westchester, and Tiger said, I don't want to play at this course anymore, and then a year later the course was off the schedule. I mean, yeah, but that's different too. That's different because that's different because I mean, there's a lot more money in golf. Like FIDE probably figures if they change from Magnus, it doesn't really actually change their bottom line. But when you're talking about Tiger frickin' Woods, like and you might like lose a golf contract or something, and also the fact there are many more tournaments, yeah, it makes a difference. Yeah, I don't think Magnus is going to play unless they change. I don't think so. I don't think so. I highly doubt it. So computer like G takes H4, which is a very tough move to play. I mean, I'm really liking Magnus's chances, even if the computer thinks it was better before, because Queen E3 is a great move. Fabiano was close in 2018, but that was for a very brief period of time. Very brief period of time. There's more money in golf. Yeah, like, yeah, there is more money in golf. That is a very, very true point. And so it makes a difference. Obviously, it does make a difference. So, anyway, yeah. Magnus's issue is I think he thinks it's too slow. He wants the games to be quicker. I think he wants the games to be quicker, or maybe a mixed format or something like that. It's comparable to the NFL and NBA teams. No, it's not. Actually, the best example would be something like a good example would be when the Golden State Warriors, they had that great season when they actually lost in the final. But it's like, let's just say the Golden State Warriors win 70 games every year, and they're just like, you know, we're so good, the format's bad, we're not even going to show up for the playoffs. We're just done. We're going to win our 70 games of regular season. We're just going to go home. Like we're just too good for this. That's basically the situation in chess right now. That is the reality. Pretty much. So we'll see. Don't I find classical chess boring? Sometimes I do. I said pretty clearly what I think about it, which is that basically if there's if the players want to play interesting chess, the games will be interesting. Like this Magnus game is very interesting, for example. But if one of the players wants to be very boring, the games are going to be boring. They're going to be very, very slow. So that's kind of the situation. Are you allowed to use your phone in between moves? No, you're not allowed to have any electronic devices, period. Because otherwise you could cheat with a computer program. All you need is just to see what the one move is, and that's good enough. No, you're not allowed to. So Abasov apparently has to take. I mean, this is apparently the best line. I mean, I don't know if he'll take. It's not insane to take on H4 to look for counterplay like Rook G8 and maybe F5, but it's not obvious. Yeah. So let's see what we get here. Istanbul or Dubai? I mean, Istanbul is much cheaper than Dubai, but Dubai is, I mean, probably quite a bit nicer. Is there a reason why FIDE won't change the format, or they just want to keep it? They want to keep it because of tradition. That's the main thing. They want to keep it because of tradition. They basically also don't want to say that like no single player is more important than the game. I mean, it's tradition, and they don't want to basically cave to one player's demands. That's the bottom line. Of course, when that one player happens to be the best player in the world by a big margin, that also kind of changes the equation. But that's my general take. I think FIDE is just going to be stubborn, and they're going to say like no one player is more important than the game. I think that's the bottom line. I do believe Magnus is playing the Grand Swiss and Isle of Man, but I could be wrong on that. I could be wrong. Maybe he's not playing. I'm not sure. So yeah, best solution to making classical chess more viewer friendly. There's no solution. Classical chess just isn't going to draw in the viewers or get the sponsors. I mean, that's another reason I think Magnus is pushing for it more, is because if you're looking for sponsors for the game of chess, how do you get sponsors outside of random companies that have questionable ties to certain governments? Like how do you get sponsors where it's not, you know, those ties, or where it's like a ridiculously wealthy individual? How do you get like actual companies to sponsor the game? The way you do it is eyeballs. And so you need the biggest viewership possible to get sponsors where it's not one of those two models. And the way you do that is having quicker games with more blunders and that sort of stuff. That's how you get it. That's the bottom line. Yeah, viewership is the way you get like the sponsors, where it's not, you know, a wealthy individual or someone tied to like Russia, for example. That's how you get it. So yeah, classical chess can be okay, but no viewer is going to watch, like no viewer is going to watch classical chess for a long time. Like, I'll give you an example. Right now we've got about 4,000 people watching here on Kick. If this were the rapid tie breaks, for example, and this was like much more drama, quicker moves, we'd probably be at 6,000 plus. A good example is the World Championship, where basically in the tiebreaker day between Ding and Nepo was really the viewership was really peaking on the tiebreak day. It was really peaking. It was getting really high because there's so much more drama. The games are quicker. You can watch it, and you're not sitting here like we are right now for the last 20 minutes, basically, with no move. The UK is about to invest big money in chess. Questionable after what's happened in the UK. In the Bullet Chess Championship, when I played Magnus, we had 30k. We had 30k watching the Bullet Championship when I was playing Magnus. But yeah, I can't watch on Chess 24 because they focus on the game, whereas here it's about everything. I mean, I try to talk about everything because it's very boring just talking about the game. Like, especially when you have very limited games, like you just can't keep doing it. Yeah. I mean, the Prime Minister announced it last week, yes, but again, there's a lot of stuff going on right now, as we saw on Twitter regarding the English Chess Federation and certain things. So, I mean, we'll see if it actually happens or not, but we'll see. I'm kind of skeptical, actually, that it'll actually happen. So, anyway, back to the game. That's also because it was you and Magnus. Well, there's that too. Yes, of course. Do other top players have a problem with the format? I mean, it depends what you mean by a problem. I think there are plenty of players who don't necessarily love classical chess because they're getting more and more used to playing online, for sure. Like Nepo, for example, plays a lot of these online tournaments. Fabiano too. Like, we've all gotten used to it. So I mean, I think problem is the wrong word. I think it's that we've gotten used to it. In many cases, I think most top players do enjoy rapid more than classical. I think that is true. I think most top players do like rapid more than classical at this point in time. But does that mean that they hate the format? I don't know. So we have Rook G8 played. I could pop up the cams for a little bit, but I mean, I'm not today. I'm just trying to chill and keep it light. I don't really want to get some angry email from like FIDE about it. So yeah, let's just keep it simple right now. Computer wants F4. Yeah. Levy making these games seem so fast first time I watch it live. Yeah, I mean, but that's the thing. Like, when you're doing a recap, whether it's Levy, whether myself, I mean, we've both been doing a lot of recaps. I think Gadwin is also doing recaps as well. But where was I going? But yeah, like in a recap, you make it quicker, but the actual games themselves, other than the tiebreak days, are very slow. They take a lot of time. Also, most of them don't have the financial back. Well, that's the other thing, actually. For most top players, they're very beholden to FIDE. I mean, most chess players don't have the ability to sort of try and push for change because they're not in a situation where FIDE can say like, okay, whatever, you have that opinion, we're not going to do it, and then they're screwed. Most top players don't have the financial freedom. I mean, there really are only two players who have that freedom at the end of the day, and it's Magnus and myself. Are you with Magnus or FIDE side? I think there should be a happy in between. I don't know what the answer is. I think there should be a happy in between, but I think any world where the best chess player in the world is not playing the World Championship is not good. The one that you have the best player in the world by a big margin not playing, that's not a good thing. It's never going to be a good thing. So yeah. All right, let's see what we get from here from Magnus. Could chess.com pull a Live Tour and do their own World Championship? I think it's definitely possible. It's definitely possible. Okay, so let's see what we get here. Abasov is actually playing quite well. Now, Magnus has F4, which is apparently the best move. It's not an easy move to play necessarily because it's starting to open up position. Like after King B8, if you go F5, suddenly the bishop starts to get active. Like suddenly this light square bishop is active now. Whereas in this position right here, this bishop is still struggling. There's nothing the bishop can do. So playing F4 and F5 is very committal, and I'm not so sure that Magnus will actually play it. Fairly skeptical that he will actually, but let's move along. Fabiano, we got BC or BA, I should say. We'll get B takes A6 also. Question is, does knight A5 work here? It's a big question. Computer does not love it. I'm assuming it's because there's some tactic like Queen A2, or maybe it's take 6 Queen A2, something like. Maybe this is still good for white. This game's going to reach a very critical moment in the next like 2-3 moves. Very critical moment. This game is going to reach a very critical moment after takes and knight a5. I think. You think f3 is the best move? F3 is also playable, but I think the problem is long term. There's going to be some king b8, bishop c8. Like you get some position like this, and suddenly black gets f5, and suddenly the position starts to open up, and I think black might even have chances to win the game. Possibly. We'll see though. Once again, a big shout out to everybody who's watching. Hope you guys are doing really well on this fine Saturday morning. We are of course covering the World Cup, which is happening in Baku, Azerbaijan. Are we team Fabi? At this point, I don't care, because all the players are already qualified. Fabiano qualified, which is really the one thing that I was hoping for after I was eliminated, and he was. So either myself or Ali Reza have the best chance of getting the what am I saying? Getting the candidate spot, but we'll see. Yeah. I am not traveling, you guys. I got home yesterday, so I'm back in America. So I am back. Yes. Well, I play the World Chess Championship. If you ever win the candidates, I mean, I guess I would. I mean, there's no reason not to, even though financially it probably would I'm not sure it would actually be financially beneficial in reality, but well, who knows. Like I can give you guys another example. So all the people who think that I'm a pro chess player, like there are a lot of people who try to think that I'm a pro chess player. For example, like when I went to Azerbaijan to play the World Cup, I basically, like, because I do still stream on Twitch sometimes, I essentially lost close to 2,000 subs on Twitch. So I lost, I mean, if I do the 70-30 split, let me just do the math quickly. Like that is how much did I lose essentially? 2,000 times, wait, that's like 3.5. So 3.5, yeah. I basically lost like $7,000 essentially in subs on Twitch. So I lost like $7,000 in subs on Twitch. And I made like $16,000 in the World Cup. Not quite because of hotel and other things, but essentially, like for all the people who think that it's like they think I'm making it up, and I'd rather play chess tournaments. It's not that simple. Like I do lose money when I play chess tournaments. That is the reality. I do lose money. So for all the people out there who think that I'm just like making stuff up and like I will play every chess tournament under the sun if I qualify, it's not that simple. It isn't. Like it's not that simple. Yeah, it's just not that simple. World Cup was break even at best. So no, my subs were pretty constantly holding house because they were holding very close. So I streamed quite a bit on Twitch in June or July, sorry, I should say. But yeah, anyway, that's neither here nor there, but that is the point though. That is the thing. So like when people think that it's like they don't really understand the economics and they think I make this stuff up, like there's a reason I don't play a lot of terms. It's because it's not actually the right decision for me. It just isn't the right decision. So anyway, okay, so let's see what we get here. Waiting for some moves. Mag is still thinking. If we go to the other game, let's see what we get. Fabiano traded rooks. That's interesting. I don't know if I love this. Knight a5 was a move. There's rumors about Rajabov and Shaq helping Abasov with openings. They might be at this point since he's still in the tournament, but I don't know. You can play like rook takes b8 maybe here. Rook takes b8, knight a5. I assume we're gonna get this position on the board, and then I don't know, is this really that good? There's like rook b6, d5. I mean, if the knight gets to c5, black's probably okay here, but hard to judge. I like Fabi's chances though, but we'll see. Shaquille O'Neal, we're talking about no, we're talking about Shakira Mamedyarov. Yeah, different. So all right, back to the other game. Magnus, no moves. Okay, so we leave it here for a bit and see what we get. Streaming is a very active job. Streaming it's a job that's very rewarding, but it's also a job where you don't get to take long breaks. That's the other thing. You don't get to take long breaks. You take long breaks and some amount of the viewers will leave forever. That is just the reality. Magnus gonna leave the World Cup after this game. Sinkfield Cup memories. Very funny, you guys. Ha ha ha. Ha ha ha. Very funny. Yeah, you guys are so funny. Everyone who wants to make that joke, you can make that joke, but as I said earlier on the stream, there's one very big difference between Abasov and that certain other player. There's one very big difference. So that's all that we need to say right now. So let's see what we get here. Levy been taking so many breaks. Levy is not really a primarily streamer. He makes like 90% of his revenue off of off of YouTube videos. Maybe not 90%, but I mean he makes the vast majority. Twitch streaming in general just is not his moneymaker. So saying that he's taking breaks, like he hasn't been a hardcore streamer probably since like I would say like late 2021 maybe. Like YouTube videos are his thing. So I mean maybe you're trying to start drama, which of course everybody loves to start drama, but yeah, that's yeah. Anyway, okay, so still waiting for a move here. Back to the other game, waiting for a move here. Waiting for a move here between Gorachkina and Salimova. Maybe like rook d1. Yeah. Yeah. And play rook d1. Tyler once said he'd play chess for 20 hours straight. Yeah, I mean for Tyler 1, I mean I think he'll improve fairly quickly if he does that, but the thing is he's going to hit the wall at some point where like just playing is not going to do it. No, it won't. So we'll see. Like he's gonna hit a wall at some point. That's the problem. He's gonna hit a wall. Did I ever play on ICC? ICC is where I started, you guys. I mean I was playing on ICC. I think the earliest time that I played in ICC was late 1996. I think it was 1996. Yeah, I think in late 96, maybe like November, December of 96, I actually was playing on the Internet Chess Club. That's where I played for many years until I started playing on chess.com around, I would say 2013. So yeah. So all right, okay, no moves here, no moves here, no moves. Oh, Magnus played f4. Wow, interesting. So I assume Abasov will play king b8. I mean because ef4 knight f6, this just looks very, very bad. I mean even if you get this position, like I don't know, maybe this is okay, but I mean this doesn't look good because you've got a crummy bishop on a6. Your king is kind of weak, your pawns are bad, your bishop's bad. Yeah, it doesn't look right. So I assume Abasov will go king b8 because if takes, even though the pawns are doubled, you now have an open diagonal. Actually takes you can also take with the knight too, and suddenly they're problems in the center. And after f5 bishop c8, now your bishop is okay. I think king b8 is very easy to play. I don't, because actually I don't know what else you calculate. You calculate pawn takes pawn, and if you don't like pawn takes pawn, I think king b8 is the only other option, because it's very easy to see knight takes e5 and you see you're fine. Yeah, I think Abasov should play king b8. I mean I'd be very surprised. I mean unless you take the only two moves that make sense are ef4 or king b8, the only two moves. I replayed matches on ICC. I had to go to one website and get the move and play it on ICC reviewers. Wow. Yeah. Do I know Salimova is a student of Abasov? I heard it on the Perpetual Chess podcast. No, I didn't hear that, but yeah, maybe she works with him. I don't know. So also another thing you guys are going to notice with the viewership even today is that like as the game gets more dramatic between Magnus and Abasov, our viewership is probably going to keep increasing, and the reason for that is going to be because the game is getting more dramatic. So there's less time, there's more action, which sort of speaks to the reason that like Magnus wants so much rapid. She's his girlfriend. Oh, I mean I don't know, maybe, who cares? I mean good for them. Like I mean it's good for everybody. I mean good for everybody unless your name is like Logan Paul, I think. And then you go to, because like I literally on Twitter that guy just keeps posting all these ridiculous pictures over and over again. So yeah, it's all good unless you're like Logan Paul. So okay. Anyway, yeah, no, I mean it's like literally I open Twitter, I open Twitter, and every day, like because the algorithm thinks I want to see it, I literally get hit with pictures from this like Dylan Danis guy. I mean I don't even know who he is, but yeah, like I yeah, I open it and all I get are pictures of that girl. That's all I get. So anyway, so all right, did we get king b8? Oh, whoa, Abasov took on f4. Wow, I'm surprised he took quickly too. Very surprised. Okay, now I think yeah, now I'm not liking this. Now I think it's gonna get very dangerous. Like maybe it's still okay with bishop c8, but these double pawns, I mean I don't know. I think Magnus is going to win this game pretty cleanly, just to be clear. I think he's going to win this pretty cleanly. I mean, this just looks impossible to defend for a human. Maybe it is. Maybe you can go rook e8, but yeah, I think Magnus is going to win. I think Magnus will win for sure now after knight takes f6. I just don't think it's a defendable position. I just don't think so. Yeah. Elon saying he's gonna remove the blocking option. Like I said earlier at the start of the stream, like if Elon removes the blocking option, I mean, I'll have my team post my schedule and maybe like sponsorship related stuff, but I will stop using Twitter altogether if he does that. I mean, that's just ridiculous. It's unconscionable in my opinion. And it's even worse then if he does that, because like one of the big problems that you have right now with well, muting doesn't do the same thing, because like people you'll still see their stupid stuff. Like when they post stuff, you'll still see it if you mute them. It'll still keep popping up. Like it's gonna be terrible. Yeah, like it doesn't do it, and then they're gonna be then you're gonna have to deal with, like, for all the people who have like especially like women on Twitter who are dealing with harassment, it's gonna be a huge problem. Yeah, it's gonna be a huge problem. Oh, he can't, because it's against App Store rules. Okay. Yeah. So we'll see, but yeah, I will stop using it. No, I mean on Twitter, some of it's mine, some of it's the team, but I don't have an alt. I mean, I don't. People who have alts on Twitter, to me, like having an alt, whether it's Twitter, whether it's streaming, like that's just ridiculous in my opinion. It doesn't happen as much on Twitch anymore. Or I mean, there are people like Asmongold who I think streams on his second channel, but like the reason people had second channels is when they wanted to basically play random stuff and do whatever and not like hurt their stream numbers. Like it's because like sponsors look at your main channel, so like you play random garbage games on your alt channel, so when you have like 1,000 people watching instead of like 5,000, sponsors won't see that and all that other stuff. But like Twitter's the exact same way. Like I just don't understand why people have alts. It's just ridiculous to me. Like, I mean, you know, if you need to like fake it on your main one to like keep sponsors happy, like, I mean, why even are you posting at all? Like, why? I don't get it. Like, I mean, you're just being totally fake. Like, if you can't be real on your main account, like then don't bother posting at all. So YouTube second channels are different. Second channels on YouTube are completely different. I'm talking about like Twitter and Twitch very specifically. Like, I mean, I mean, like if I see someone has an alt, like why would I even, like, to me that would just be ridiculous to even like watch them, not watch them, but like listen to what they say, because clearly they're just like saying one thing that's totally fake and it's not who they are in their main account, and then their private account they are, and it's like, look, if you're not gonna be your real self, then like why would I even care what you say to begin with? It has nothing to do with money. No, it actually has nothing to do with money as far as Twitter goes, because you're not monetizing Twitter on a second account or a first account for the most part either. So all right. So let's see what we get here. Magnus will probably play knight takes f6. I don't see any other move that makes sense. I mean, Abasov is basically Abasov's assumption is that in this position he's okay here, because the weak pawn on d3 is d3 and g4 are offset by the pawn and the pressure here, and that white's knight is offsides. That's what he's doing. Zakharov might as well be his main channel now. It's so weird. Well, I mean, if Asmongold does that, like if that's his main channel, yeah, more power to him. Why is Prag having trouble taking the rook? Because he's not sure how to capture. He wants to play rook takes b8, but he doesn't have a clear-cut idea against knight a5, threatening to create this classic bastion and a fork of the rook and the bishop as well. That's why he's not moving. He's trying to work out the line here, and if he can't work it out, he's going to end up taking with the knight. But taking with the knight looks just bad because you're down a juicer here. But you do have an active bishop, so Prag might be wondering, can he get away with this, where the active bishop, does it offset the pawn that he sacrificed? That might be the reason. But we'll see what he does pretty soon. Magnus's game, where Magnus hasn't moved, but he's going to use a little bit of time, and then he'll play it. 150 million to the obnoxious streamer for 3 years. I don't know what you mean by that. But I think Trainwreck said something about that. I think Trainwreck said that, like, again, this is the problem. This comes back to the big problem with Twitter. There are people putting out fake numbers about what people are making on these streaming deals, and then when people read it, they think it's true, and it's not. And of course, when you fake it and you say some number that's not true, of course it gets interaction. If you're monetized, you want more views so you can make more money, which is why, I mean, the whole thing with like monetizing, I think it's about, oh, U812 dad for the 10 gift is appreciated. I mean, that's the problem with Twitter. Like, even before you get to blocking, that's like the huge problem. You're incentivized to basically make up insane stuff in order to get more clicks and views. It's like, what do you, like, when you talk about it being when Elon says, oh, it's a town square, this or that, like, he's just making it all up. That has nothing to do with it. I mean, he's completely lost the plot altogether. So Oh, we get knight f6, probably bishop takes f6 will be played very soon, probably queen e6 and queen f6. Thank you so much once again to OU812 dad, appreciate it. It's like I was seeing all this insane stuff on Twitter where it's like people are saying that like there was some kind of like electricity strike or something in Hawaii that caused the wildfires, when like if you look at the sources for that, there was some electrical thing, I think it was like in Louisiana or somewhere. It was not in Hawaii, but you see many people just like pushing that so they can get more clicks and get more money when it's a complete like fabrication. So yeah, that's my general take. What would I do if I was a billionaire like Elon? I would take my money and I would not work ever again. I would just go sit on a private island and just chill and enjoy life. Probably do some philanthropy on the side, but just chill instead of being an egomaniac and thinking I need to take over the world. So yeah, space lasers, exactly. Yeah, that's what I would do. I might still stream occasionally. Yeah, I might still stream occasionally. Yeah, that seems boring. If you have $1 billion though, I mean, come on. Maybe that's the problem with $1 billion, because everyone sucks up to you. You feel like you are actually God, and maybe that changes it. I wouldn't know, obviously, but maybe that changes it. I do think that could be part of it. It's just like, because when you're that rich, everyone's literally like falling all over themselves for you. They are like they're just like they'll literally do anything for you. So I mean, maybe it's intoxication from being that rich and everyone just like wanting to like be around you. Maybe that's what it is. I mean, I don't know, obviously, but yeah. So let's see what we get. All right, waiting for a move from Abasov. I mean, king b7 doesn't look right just because your bishop is just dead here on the rim. It's just doing nothing. So I mean, maybe queen d7 is an idea, but I mean, even this, the knife is jumping here. You're getting forked every which way. I mean, king b8 is the only move. King b8 and bishop c8 is the only move. Yeah, king b8 and bishop c8 is the only way. You can't post fake news on X. Oh, you definitely can. I mean, I've probably seen like 5 people saying that, like, I swear I saw like 5 posts about like the space lasers causing the wildfire in Maui. I also saw a bunch of posts saying that like Obama's estate is like the only estate that was spared, when Obama's estate isn't even on Maui. I mean, I see like many posts on the same stupid stuff, and it's like, what's wrong with people? Yeah, I mean, people were saying like Obama's estate was spared. It's basically like it was a planned thing. I mean, all this conspiracy garbage. Like, yeah. I mean, I was literally saying that. I'm seeing people saying Obama's estate was spared, so it was all planned as part of like some Democrat conspiracy when his estate is on Oahu. Yeah. So yeah. Or the other good one is that basically the wildfire was started so that like people like Oprah and others can buy all the property, all the beachfront property that the locals wouldn't sell. It's just like people are just like, it's just a sad world we live in. Yeah, it's a sad world we live in. So yeah. Anyway, I assume we'll get king b8 here. I'm not sure. Well, of course, people say anything because it's actually how you make more money. Since if you're monetized on Twitter, that's how you make money. You make up something insane and you get a bunch of clicks. You make more money. You're literally incentivized to lie and create things. So yeah, it's sad. It's sad. So anyway, yeah. We have queen takes e6, as I said before, so waiting. Prague has not captured the rook yet. I'm not sure. No, I'm not monetizing. I'm not going to try even, because I'm not going to post stuff every day to try and get clicks and get monetized. Like, it's just stupid. Yeah. Okay, what else do we have? Okay, the other game in the women's section looking very drawish. Maybe black's a little bit better here, but should be a draw with correct play. The other one, I guess white's a little bit better, but you have problems here. So yeah, not super exciting. Abasov's position looks ugly to play. If he can bring himself to play king b8 and bishop c8, he still has some chances to save the game. Some chances. This is why chess.com stream is tanking. I didn't realize you were live. I mean, I can pull it up with the chess 24. Let me mute the tab. I don't know what you mean by tanking, but no, they have a decent viewership, like about 7K objectively. 7K before you add in the chess TV, the full chess TV embed. So it's not so bad. It's fine. But anyway, so all right, we have king b8 was played, so we'll get queen f6 bishop c8. Usually they have more, don't they? Probably that's true. I mean, probably it's true. So maybe it's me streaming. It's possible. I don't know, but who knows? Yeah. Well, hey, I mean, I'm doing my commentary. I'm doing what I can for you guys, the fans. And I'm glad you guys enjoy it. That's what I would say. I'm glad you guys enjoy the commentary. So we do get King B8 takes and Bishop C8. Who watches Chess TV? Yeah, Chess TV is. I've spoken about it at length. What it is. So yeah, what it is. Okay, so I assume we'll get Bishop C8. Yeah, Bishop C8 played instantly by Abasov. I really do like it. It's I think a good move. So anyway, just glad to be here. Enjoy the vibes. Yeah. It's so boring to watch. I mean, Peter Lecco, I mean, I'll tell you guys, Peter Lecco is amazing. Make no mistake about it. Peter Lecco is like a great commentator, but I feel like Peter Lecco is a guy that like I'm going to enjoy him because of how good I am at chess. But I think Peter Lecco is generally too advanced for someone who's a casual chess player. Like if you're a serious chess player and you're all into it, you want to hear about the intricacies of the preparation, the opening theory, all this stuff. I think Peter Lecco is pretty much as good as it gets. Outside of someone like myself or Fabiano. But if you're more casual and you just want to like kind of chill and get into it, I think it's very, very hard because he's a little bit too strong. He's just too strong. He's too good. I mean, he was one game away from being the world chess champion. So let's see what we get from Magus. Still thinking. I assume we'll get Rook HE1 with the idea of Rook E7 to create the kebab. Lego is great with Daniel and Hal. That's not surprising. I mean, Hal's had a lot of experience on the Chess Champions Tour. Daniel, of course, does a lot of commentary on many events, so it makes sense that like they can sort of balance it. I mean, it makes sense that they can sort of offset and balance his like insane, serious analysis with like more like casual stuff. Did Prague move? No, Prague didn't move. Prague still isn't moved. I mean, this is getting kind of bad for him. I'm guessing Prague is he's not able to find a solution after knight a5. That's why he's thinking so long. He's struggling to find a solution to this knight a5 idea, which is why he's using forever on the clock here. I miss Maurice Ashley. Where has he been? I think Maurice is doing his own thing these days. I mean, he stopped doing stuff in St. Louis. Another topic which I'm really not interested to talk about, but I think he stopped doing stuff in St. Louis. I think he's just chilling, going wherever. I think Rook takes b8 is the only move because Bishop b8 just looks ridiculous after knight a5. Like this looks absolutely horrible. I mean, if you're like, for example, if White can ever get this position, just to showcase, you get some position like this, White just wins because the knight is planted and your bishop is dead behind the pawns. I'm just going to go here and mop up the bishop next turn. So pretty bad. Both Chesscom and Elite Chess don't want to do with STLC. Is that bad? I mean, I don't know. Caruana or Braga who's winning? Prague. I assume Fabiano's looking very good here. Yeah. At least we still have coverage on your channel, right? I'm continuing to do coverage. Yeah. I'll probably cover it tomorrow too for everybody who's wondering. I originally was intending to take tomorrow off, but you know, just looking at the numbers, looking at the fact that people are enjoying it. I haven't streamed much lately. I think I will. Yeah. So which player do you think has the is the toughest for Prague to face? I think Fabiano is a very tough player. I mean, yeah, I guess I can say this since I'm not playing any events for a while, but basically I feel that Prague's style is pretty good in terms of playing people who aren't necessarily super well prepared across the board. So what I mean by that is that Fabiano studies chess a lot. His openings are extremely good, potentially the best. I mean, I think Fabiano has some of the best openings in the world. Like, he's not going to get surprised that much, whereas like a player like myself, I generally look at a lot of different openings, but I'm a streamer first. I don't study chess every day the way that Fabiano does, for example. So I think a player like Fabiano who can take advantage of Prague's sort of like, I don't want to say limited knowledge, but like the fact that he tries to play all different openings and isn't an expert across the board, I think that Fabiano is the sort of player who will have a lot of trouble playing against I mean, Fabiano is sort of player that Prague will struggle against because Fabiano is very well prepared everywhere and studies chess every day. Prague tries to play different openings, tries to change it up, and Fabiano is the guy who will like take advantage of your mixed openings and just like punish you because he's so good across the board. So yeah, that's my general take. I think a Fabiano type player is actually like the worst possible player for Prague to play. Absolutely. Do I think Fabiano's top 10 of openings? Of course not, you guys. That's like stupid. That's like trying to say that. like if Fabiano was top 10 just because of openings, I could literally play e4 a6, like I could play a6 or b6, get Fabiano prep out of prep and beat him. Like it's not all about the openings, you guys, it's not. But it's like such an oversimplification, it's unbelievable. Okay, so he does take with a rook finally after I think a long thing. Oh, the clock's, wait, why did this time go back to 51 minutes? I don't know, not sure. So anyway, okay, so no more moves in Magnus's game. I'm gonna go get some more water. I'm gonna heat up, I'll heat up some water too and get some more caffeination, and I'll be back in like a minute or two as we keep covering the FIDE World Cup, which is going on in Baku, Azerbaijan. So I'll be back in 1 second. Just gonna use the restroom, get some more water, and get some more coffee. So give me a minute. All right, you guys, so what did we miss? Did we miss anything or not? I don't know, I don't think we did. So okay, we got to move rook to e1. Best move played by Magnus. Let's see what Abasov does. Computer wants rook d6. Hard move to play here. Hard move to play. Prague is 27, not 51. Okay, so Prague is down. Okay, so Fabiano does play knight a5. So big moment. Will we get rook b6 here? Is a big question. White is threatening knight c6. Why do I have a 60-26 record against Fabiano? I don't know. Maybe because I can play well at times. I don't know. I mean, I don't know what the question is. Yeah, computer likes something weird. It likes knight c5 here. And it wants to sack the rook and go like here in queen c6. Could get interesting. Thank you so much, that baby girl, for the sub. Thank you so much. So let's see if Prague can sack the rook and get back in the game. Let's see. Is Fabiano among the greatest in history? Yes. Rook b6 is not, it's not insane to see this idea. I mean, it's not insane. I think Prague could find it, actually. If Prague plays rook b6, we'll almost certainly get this on the board. Yeah, I mean, if we get rook b6 knight c6, I'm almost certain Prague will find knight c5, but will that actually happen? I'm not sure. Thank you so much, unlucky, for the sub. Thank you so much, unlucky. Appreciate it. Yeah. What did I say? Baby girl 69. Yeah, thank you so much, baby girl 69. Appreciate it. Thank you so much. Yeah. Is Levy one of the greatest chess players in history for his role in popularizing games? Depends how you want to talk about it. I mean, from the standpoint of someone who is who's trying to raise the profile, yes. But I would say that overall, I don't think it's actually close. I think the player who the person who has and we will be talking about long after he's gone for making the biggest impact is going to be Vishy Anand. I think Anand is going to be like, if you're talking about having an influence and making an impact, Anand is miles and miles ahead of anybody else, and I don't think it's even close. And the reason I say that is because I think that down the road in 20 years from now, nobody is going to remember who Levy was. Nobody is going to remember, I mean, who I was I mean, they'll remember my games, but like in 20 years from now, we're going to be talking about Anand because of the kids from this generation who will be like world champion or up there playing with the absolute best. Like in 20 years from now, that's the thing. Like in 20 years, like, yes, like people will remember me for some of my games. I'll remember Levy for his videos, but we will still be talking about Vishy, because I guarantee you these are not going to be the only juniors who are up at the top. That's the thing. Like you're going to be seeing Indians at the top in chess for a very, very long time, and that's going to be something that we'll feel. We'll be feeling that for a very, very long time, and that impact is far greater than anything else that anyone else has done. Not even close. Like I'm not saying that just to like pop it up, but it is true. Like it's very true. It's very true. I mean, because all these kids are so good, and these are not the only kids who are going to get up to 2,700 plus, just to be clear. I mean, that's the thing. Like, it's not just Prague, it's not just Gukesh. Like, there's so many Indians who are up there who are going to be strong. Like, that's the thing. Why Indians? Many reasons. Let's see if Prague can play rook b6 first. But I think that the first thing that's really the first thing is that there are a lot of companies that support the top players. So for example, all the top players have sponsors. Like Nihal has a milk sponsor. Arjun has, I think, a finance sponsor. Prague has, I don't know who his sponsor is exactly, but he's got a sponsor. I mean, Gukesh has a sponsor. They all have sponsors because it's viewed as something that's like very significant and something to be proud of. So all these top players have sponsors. Additionally, even the players who aren't necessarily at the top, they also, I think some of them, like, they work at the oil company or elsewhere, and they also, like, they're supported in a much different way. Thank you so much to Stan Marsh for the 4 months as well. Yeah, I mean that's what it's about. So like to me, when we talk about the lasting impact, the impact that Vishy has had will not be comparable, because Vishy was the first Indian Grandmaster like 30 plus years ago, and I mean he's from a country that had like, I mean they were not good at chess. Nobody from India was good. Like he was the first GM even, and you see what has happened because of all his accomplishments, because of the work that he's done as well. Like it's just not, it's not close, not close, just not close. Because he was there when it started and what it's become now. I mean, India is a powerhouse. They have the best junior players in the world. I don't know which one's going to probably make it to the top, but I assume even if they don't make it to the top, you're going to have at least 2 or 3 of them who are in the top 5 in the world probably. So yeah, let's see if Prague can play rook b6. It's pretty much the only move here that doesn't lose, I think, but we'll see if he can actually find it. No, he takes. Okay, so he makes a mistake here. Now knight c6 could be very dangerous, right? Or is there knight c5 maybe? Takes and like rook b7 I guess runs into knight d8 with the fork, but you have maybe rook a8. Looks scary here. It looks scary. Looks scary. Not just India, but India is the only place where you have the support. You have so much support. Queen takes a6 is liked by the engine. Yeah, I mean Fabi's got a big time edge, so he's going to use a lot of time here. But I guess we'll see what he does. So, okay. Who is your sponsor? Who's my sponsor? My sponsor is you guys, the viewers. You guys are my sponsor. So yes, thank you. Thank you to you guys. You've made it all possible. I'm not actually trolling when I say that. You guys have made it all possible. Yes, you guys have made it all possible. It is you. Yeah, it is you guys. Because the viewership leads to everything else. So you guys who have been here from the start in 2018, I mean you guys are basically sponsored. Without you guys watching, none of this would have been possible. So yeah, never sub, never donate. Yeah, but Joe O'Brien, it's actually not about, it's not literally that. It's that you guys from watching my stream and the growth that I've had, that's what has led to all the other things. So I'm not really trolling when I say that. So okay, waiting for whoa, thanks so much a baby girl 69 for the 5 gifted subs. Thanks so much a baby girl 69. Very proud of you as a sponsor. Thank you, appreciate it. Yeah, thank you. Okay, so Fabiano has plenty of time to think. He'll use his time here. Okay, we've had a bunch of moves here played. What did we get? Oh, we got rook d6 takes rook g4. So Abasov is still holding on. He's still playing pretty well. Thanks so much to Cypher Unknown for the 10 gifted subs. Thanks so much to Cypher Unknown. Thank you so much. Benjamin Too Long says now the sponsor Hikaru wants doesn't do sponsorships. Costco doesn't do sponsorships, but I'm not gonna lie, you guys, I've got my instant coffee from Costco. I usually get like my yakitori fried rice from Costco. I mean, sounds pretty good. Like maybe later I'll go get like a $1.50 hot dog, but we'll see. On the other hand, I don't know, because actually I was when I was in Abu Dhabi like before I left, I actually I ordered some food from McDonald's, and my god, it was so good. Like it was amazing. Like after eating meat or any of the chain stuff in the Emirates, I'm not sure I really want to eat meat in the US again. It was so good. Like I mean McDonald's is horrible, but outside the US, McDonald's is like bussin'. I had this great thing. There was this great thing. I got the chicken Big Mac, which I don't think exists in the US. That was pretty bussin'. And also they had the other thing, it was called the McArabia, I think. McArabia, which was really good. Yeah, the McArabia it's like a pita sandwich. It was really good. Really good. The chicken Mac and the McArabia were like amazing. Or McArabia, whatever it is. But you guys get the point. But yeah, it was really bussin'. I'm not lying. It was bussin'. And it's hilarious. It was also hilarious. I was thinking about it. It's like, you know, outside America, everyone's like, America, it's you know, it's the dream, it's the land of opportunity and all this stuff. And I can just think, like, if you're a kid and you're like 12 years old and you go eat McDonald's like in France, or you eat it in like the Emirates or wherever, you're like, my god, America, it's got like the best food, it's like the land of opportunity. Like it's like perpetrating a lie, because as soon as you eat McDonald's in the US, it's absolute ass. So it's like, it's just like I was saying, it's like so ridiculous, isn't it? So anyway, let's keep going with the game. Yeah. So all right, waiting for a move here from Magnus. I know he's gonna go queen h2 or queen f3 or what he's gonna do. He'll play something. I don't think European, no, but I'm saying like if I'm like a kid in Europe and you know, obviously you see all this stuff on TV, all the movies, everything, and then like I go eat at McDonald's, I'm just like man, like they've got the best of everything. But then it's like, then you eat McDonald's and like the fries are literally sprinkled with like, I don't even know what, God only knows what. But like when I had the fries from McDonald's the other day, it was great. The fries weren't like, literally I feel like if you get fries at McDonald's in the US, you literally pull the fry and you can literally see, like, I don't even know if it's salt or what it is, but you literally see the white stuff on the fry. And like I literally was looking at the fries and there's none of that. It was like much better, much better. So anyway, all right. So waiting for a move here from Magnus. I mean, queen f3, queen f1, queen h2, all playable. Yeah. I always thought it was salt, but maybe it's baking soda. You never know. You never know, you guys. You never know. But yeah, I'm just saying, like when I had Subway, when I had the steak and cheese and in Dubai, and then I also tried McDonald's and had like the McArabia and the chicken mac, like that was some good stuff. Like that was some really good food. And I never thought I would say that about McDonald's. I never thought I was saying that. McDonald's won't be sponsoring you. I mean, they could definitely sponsor me because I'm talking about how great they are in like in the Emirates and how great they are in Europe. Like, so all right. Anyway, yeah. Let's see what we get here. Waiting for a move from Magnus. Okay, did Fabiano play? Wait, Fabiano did play. Played knight 6, knight c5. So Fabiano got a little bit hasty and did play knight c6. Takes some rook 8. I think Dubai sponsored you. No, they didn't sponsor me, you guys. Yeah. I have been sponsored by McDonald's in the past, though. I had their Popeye thing. What was the Popeye sandwich, which was actually pretty good. I had the Popeye, the Popeye type sandwich that they had. I don't know if they still have it, but I did have it. So I assume Fabiano will capture the juicer. We'll get rook a8 to guard the bishop, and then computer likes a5. This is still, Fabiano's doing well, but I don't know if he's winning. I don't know if he's winning. It's tricky. I feel like he's better here. Computer likes queen d5. I think he's better, but I'm not sure. Do I still drink Red Bull? Sometimes I do. I mean, it just depends. It depends, but I feel like with Red Bull and Monster, like all of them, it's like if you don't have them for a while, they're great, but if you have them too often, they don't give you the hit that you need. Yeah. Like another good one that I haven't had in a while is like 5-hour energy. If I don't have 5-hour energy for 6 months and I need to just be like this, I can go get a 5-hour energy and I'm just gonna be like just on fire for the whole day. How come Fabian is struggling versus low tier player? Prague is not a low tier player, but thank you. So anyway. Tell us how you landed that Alfa Romeo advert deal. I didn't land a deal, you guys. Basically, Kick put some names on their cars, and they chose to put my name. They featured my name on the car. So yeah, I heard about it from a lot of people who are fans of F1. So yeah, no, it's pretty sick. But what can I say? It's great. The only thing I wish is when I went to the Miami FIDE or I was about to say the Miami FIDE Grand Prix. When I went to the Miami F1 Grand Prix, it was pretty cool because I actually got to go in the garage and see the car. But the only sad thing is, of course, when you go in the garage, you can't actually take any pictures. So yeah, FIDE F1 kind of similar, right? Kind of similar. But anyway, yeah. So like it was pretty cool going in the garage, and they literally have like 500 tires as well. That's the other thing that's just like nuts. So okay, Abasov's game, what do we get? We got queen e3, rook e6 played. Magnus is still better, but is he much better? Because like is he actually much better in this endgame after check? I mean, he's better. Is this actually winning? Because black's pawns are pretty crummy here. I mean, this looks like a Magnus Supreme. Yeah, it's a Magnus Supreme. I think Magnus will win this game. Although maybe not. I'm trying to figure out, is this endgame actually, like, if I just set this up, is this endgame actually winning? Like, is this actually a winning endgame or not? Like, I don't know if this is a winning endgame. Like, this might be a draw here, potentially. Hard to judge. I think because if you get the wide peepos, they're not split far enough, and this I believe is a draw. Like if you get this position, this is definitely a draw where black can hold, because black can do the yo-yo, and whenever your king goes over this way, it's just a draw. But will we get to this point is also a big question mark. We'll see. I mean, Magnus is the endgame hero. He is the endgame hero. You're a godly commentator. I mean, I try. What's the reason for Kick streams and not Twitch? Because I have a deal with Kick. That's the reason. And then secondarily, on top of that, Twitch doesn't care about their streamers either. They don't care about their streamers. Like they don't care. So I mean, if they don't care, then why should I care? On top of also like taking money away from streamers too. So yeah. I mean, I don't know. I mean, and also like I would also say separately that, you know, I am someone, like, I play chess, so I have a pretty good memory, and I will always in the back of my mind be very unhappy with what happened, where, you know, I got banned on Twitch for showing a game of chess that Dr. Disrespect was playing. And after that incident, like, if there was ever an opportunity, or like YouTube or Kick or whomever came along, like, I would always take the opportunity if there was a good offer, because they very nearly screwed me up. Like, I was very lucky that I qualified for the Canada's tournament, because those of you guys who are around will remember very clearly that when that happened that was the final stream I did before leaving the US to go to Germania to play in the FIDE Grand Prix held in Berlin. And basically what happened is, like, I was watching a gameplay between Dr. Disrespect and Dr. Lupo, and so that was the last stream before I left. And so, like, I did the stream, I left, went to Germany. This was also when they basically said that they had, like, resolved whatever with him. Even now it's not even clear what was resolved or what wasn't resolved. But basically, yeah, so that was on the heels of that. And so I showed the game, and then I go to Germany, and I played in the first, I think they allow it now too. I think they actually allow it now, because I've seen, like, X show it. So, like, I went to, you know, so I went to Germany. I played the first game. I lost a very tough first game against Levon, and we had our coverage on the channel. And then as soon as the round ends, like, I got banned, and I basically, like, it was very hard for me to recover from that. It was very hard to recover. Basically, like, I barely held on to draw the next two games. I drew against Esipenko, or not Esipenko, sorry. I drew against Esipenko in a very tough endgame, which I probably could have lost. And then I also drew against Opar in a game where I was losing out of the opening. And then I was able to recover. I think I beat Levon in the rematch, and I also beat Opar, and I think it was, and I was able to win the event, or not win the event, but qualify. I was able to qualify. I won the last three. I beat Levon, and then I beat Opar, and then I also beat Esipenko in the final game in that Vienna game. So, like, that, to me, that was pretty much unforgivable. So if there was ever an opportunity with, like, Kick or Rumble or YouTube, like, I was always going to take because they very nearly just made it so that I didn't qualify for the candidates. Very nearly did. Like, I mean, I remember after I got banned, like, I didn't sleep that night. I was just like, I was so, like, I don't want to say distraught, but I was so upset by the whole thing that, like, I didn't sleep. I didn't fall asleep until like 5 a.m. that the next morning. It was just so unbelievably unconscionable what they did. It was just like such bullshit. So yeah, that's the bottom line. Yeah, I mean, really unforgivable in my book. Unforgivable in my book. Okay, so we get Queen F4. So Magnus is heading right back into one of these endgames. Apparently, after King B7, White's not much better here, which is kind of insane. I mean, if Abasov can hold this, like, I'll be impressed. And actually, the reason it's not so bad is because it's weak pawn. The bishop gets active, your queen's active, the knight can start jumping, and your king is actually fairly safe because this knight is offside. If White could magically put this knight on e4, White's winning. But the knight is on the rim, and it's extremely dim here. So that's why after rook e1, queen e1, queen f4, king b7, Abasov's in the game. He's in the game. Yeah. No, and so we couldn't broadcast either. So there's no broadcast. That's the thing. There's no broadcast on my channel either. So, like, I couldn't even have my broadcast, and it was just a total nightmare. Total nightmare. So that's the bottom line. It was like, if there was ever an offer that was reasonable from anywhere else, I was always going to take it because of what they did. So yeah. So let's see what we get here. Congrats on tying the knot. I mean, also, as I said, I'm not going to talk about this a lot, but I mean, I didn't get married the day before I went to play the World Cup. So it wasn't exactly new. It wasn't new from that standpoint, but it felt like the right time to let everybody know. And what can I say? As I said before, find good people and good things will happen. Yeah. So, all right. As usual, Cagnus will trade into the end game and win. He could win, but the problem is the pawn structure and the opposite color Bs. The opposite color Bs make this difficult to play. That's the problem. So, yeah. Coffee or tea? I love my coffee, you guys. I love my coffee. So, and also, I mean, for anybody who's wondering about that, you know, there's another issue in play, and this is actually highly political. This is highly political, but I will say that, you know, a lot of people, I mean, you see stuff in the news, but a lot of people don't realize certain things. Like, my wife is from Iran originally, and you know, she basically, like, when she was trying to change her federation and play for the US as well, like, she basically got banned from being able to go back to her home country. So, like, you know, that also was in play as well. It's like, you know, when, you know, people forget that, like, just because we're in the US where everything, you know, where you have a lot of freedoms, you know, even if you believe in crazy conspiracy theories, you have freedom, like, that is not the case everywhere around the world. So that also played a big role in terms of, like, why I didn't, like, release, like, I didn't make it a big deal for quite a while either. So yeah, I mean, imagine living somewhere for, like, for your whole life, like, representing your country even in chess or anything, and then, like, because of, like, this stupid hijab stuff, you suddenly can't go back to the country where you, like, spent your entire life. It's, like, unbelievable. It's, you know, again, like, we take a lot of stuff for granted here in the US. We take a lot of stuff for granted. Yeah, I mean, we take it for granted. We take a lot of stuff for granted here in America. We do. So anyway, all right. A filmmaker just got jailed in Iran after winning from Khan. Yeah, actually, I could say that too. So, you know, another thing, like, I mean, of course, we're here to cover the chess. I don't want to talk too much about this stuff, but, like, you know, but I'll give you another example. It's like, people are whining and complaining about inflation here in the US. Imagine a country like Iran where inflation, I think, like, 20 years ago, 100 of their currency was, I don't know if it was 100 of their currency equaled like $100, but now it's something like 50,000 of their currency equals $100 or something like that. I might have the exact figures off, but inflation has gone up by 20,000%. Like, it's literally, like, impossible for people in that country to live. Like, it's literally impossible. Yeah, like, imagine, I mean, we're complaining about inflation, like, being at like 7% here, and in their country inflation is like 20,000%. 20,000% is the inflation. Yeah. If that happened here in the US, we'd riot. But, you know, in that country, yeah. Anyway, whatever. Enough. So, all right, back to the chess. We have rook a8 played. Let's see what Fabiano will do here. You can play queen d5, you can play a5 as well. Multiple options. Yeah. E5 is also a move, but I don't know if I like e5. E5 feels like very if bishop b6 is the only move here that's okay for black, then e5 is a good move. Then e5 is a great move if it's the only move. So Fed's wanting to layoffs with around 5%. Yeah, exactly. I will be playing the bullet brawl later on today. I will be. Yes, absolutely, you guys. So yeah, but anytime something happens, anything happens there, you know, yeah, it's, who knows. Yeah, one day, you guys, one day you hope things will be better. One day. So that's my opinion. That's my comment on the topic. One day you hope things will be better. So, all right. Let's see what we get here. Magnus still think, or no, sorry, that's not Magnus. We'll probably get rook e1, I assume, and then queen e1 and like king b7. Yeah. Queen f4 is a move here. You could consider it. I'm assuming the problem with queen f4 is, like, there's going to be something here where you don't get to trade the knights. Like, if you get to this position, this is going to be sag. Like, this endgame is going to be pain. Or Spain without the S, I should say. This will be pain for sure, because you've got a bad pawn. Magnus will somehow reroute the knight, and this is going to be nothing but Spain without the S. This will be a long day of suffering if he plays queen f4. Yeah. Hijab isn't Subi, you have a choice to wear it. No, you don't have a choice of whether to wear it or not. That's exactly the point. But thank you for giving me a lecture on that. I know full well how it works, you guys. If you want, in most countries, if you want to wear it, you can't. You can or not. In Iran, you don't have a choice. So let's leave it at that. Yeah. Thinking that I'm not aware of the religion or that sort of stuff. I'm quite well aware of it. I'm quite well aware of it. Like, so all right. Anyway, waiting for a move here. We don't want to get too off the rails, you guys, because we are here to cover chess. Fabiano did play a5, which was a5 the best. I thought the move that e5 was the move that that I think we wanted to see, but we got a5. Now apparently queen e8 is a good move because queen e5 there's knight d3. I would say this about the position, you know, one thing that I felt with Pragg when I played him was he was very nervous. Like I mean maybe he was just bouncing up and down, but I got the general sense that Pragg, it felt like he was quite nervous during the games, and he is definitely under some serious pressure here. So we're gonna see how good Pragg's nerves are. We're gonna see how good Pragg's nerves are here. So I felt like, I mean maybe he's just bouncing up and down because he is very young. But my general take was that my general take was that he was quite nervous, and I mean he's able to keep it together. But this is a position that he's gonna get in like the candidates. Like this is exactly the kind of position he's gonna get in the candidates, where he's under pressure, you don't have obvious counterplay, and you have to defend and find the best moves. And we're gonna really see how good his nerves are for sure. Yeah, we'll see. Yeah, you have the choice whether you want to wear it or not. Yeah, I mean you go to jail or worse in Iran if you don't wear it, you guys. So thank you for the thank you for saying that. Every country is different, but yes, in Iran it's not an option. So all right, waiting for waiting for a yeah, waiting for the move from Pragg here. I mean queen e8 is a move. There are other moves. Where is my wife? She's playing in Abu Dhabi. She's playing the Abu Dhabi Masters. So yeah, I thought Facebook was a place with experts, maybe, but all right you guys, so let's chill, let's relax. Let's chill, let's relax, see what we get. You don't want to stay there. I wouldn't mind being in Abu Dhabi, but the problem is again, when I'm on the road, like without the 2 monitor setup, it's just a little bit janky. They're following problems. Without 2 monitors, it's janky. Like right now I have everything on the second monitor, so it's very easy to do, but like one laptop is very tricky to do a lot of different things. That's the main thing. It's very hard to do it, and secondarily you never know with the internet either. That's the problem. Like internet is never like it's never really clear if the internet's gonna hold or not. Like you just don't know. You don't know. That's the thing. So yeah, so we get queen e8, good move. Queen d5 will be played almost for sure, and then we'll see if he can play knight d3. Knight d3 is a great move. It's actually not that hard once you play queen e8, because you're getting saucy. Your bishop is bad. It's kind of dominated by the horse. The rook isn't very good. White is open 5s. Like knight d3 is not an insane move to find. You probably go check, king h8 takes, and computer still likes white's position. You can't go queen a6 because of the classic fossil, and you lose the game here. But we'll see. Thank you, YY is here for the gift of sub. Thank you so much for YY is here. Appreciate it. Thank you so much. So yeah, Magus game. Yep. Okay, so what happened? We got knight e5, which was not the absolute best move, but not a terrible move either. Problem is there's rook e3. Well, Magus find rook e3. It's actually not a hard move to play, by the way, because now you can create the legendary double stack. If Magus plays rook e3, it's starting to go in the wrong direction, because rook e3 you have to go king b7, which is very counterintuitive because you walk into the double or the triple stacks. Yeah, portable monitors, I mean, but the thing is, like, I wasn't really sure, like, does it work the same way? Like I know theoretically, like I mean are there, because don't you need then you need an HDMI cable? Like don't you need like HDMI cables and other stuff too? I didn't think it was that straightforward, but maybe. Yeah, I'm sounding like a typical boomer. Yes, you guys, I'm not young. I don't know if anyone told you guys, but I am 28 years old, so I'm not super young anymore like I once was. It's definitely more complicated. Okay. Also, if you don't go rookie 3 here, like you play a quiet move like king b1, you actually just lose because we have the classic family fork here with the knight forking the 2 rooks and the queen at the same time. So you don't want to walk into the family fork. That's never a good idea. So rookie 3 is not a hard move to play. Yeah. Will you come to my podcast if I invite you? I mean, podcasts I don't have an issue with. I would say with podcasts, so generally if I do podcasts, I would love to talk about like the sort of the like all the like sort of the history behind like all the different things, like how a lot of the stuff that happened in chess was not just random. Like a lot of it was thought out, very deep thoughts about like what are viewers gonna like, you know, what events are gonna work. So like I wouldn't mind doing it if it's about that, but I would say in general that's the big thing. So like I'll give you a perfect example of that. You know, one thing that I would love to talk about is like PogChamps. Like PogChamps as it exists now is exactly the opposite of what it was originally intended to be. So like I'll give you an example. PogChamps 1 and 2, the whole idea of PogChamps was basically to help the chess content creators out, basically give them the opportunity to basically like work with players. You can see, because then it helps for them. You get content for your YouTube channel, you also get growth because you're gonna have this cross pollination, I don't know if that's the right word, but you're gonna have this crossover between the different communities. The chess content creators get their content. You also get the creators who don't play chess learning and trying to improve at the game. You get to see their progress throughout. And so that's kind of what it was. And like PogChamps now became, whoa, what was king b7? King c2 was not right for Magnus. We get king b7. But then secondarily, the other thing that's really important to note is that like PogChamps as it exists now, there were not that many collabs. There was not that much in the way of chess content creators, and there were actually some of the creators who I felt very bad for. Very specifically, someone like Daily Dose, who he was essentially asked to plan the event. Clearly he didn't know what he was getting into. He didn't do any training, and he just got blown off the board in some games. And I don't think it's not a good look when you have players basically, in a sense, getting insulted and made fun of, which happened with multiple players in this latest PogChamps, where again chess.com no doubt told them, well, look, it's like 10 hours commitment, just show up, play your games, pretty easy and straightforward, when of course that's not the case. And I said this before too, that when you know, I think it was PogChamps 3, the Tifu, he isn't streaming now, I assume he'll come back one day, but Tifu, who's a you know, was a great Fortnite streamer, one of the OGs from right as everything was picking up. Like he wrote to me on Twitter and he's like, he literally said like, so you know, should I play in PogChamps? Is it worth it? That's what he said. He said like, you know, should I play in PogChamps? And basically what I wrote to Tifu was, I said, you know, look, if you want to play, you can, but unless you're going to put in a couple hours every single day, you know, you're basically going to get embarrassed. You're going to lose every game. It's not going to be fun and everything else. And he's like, oh, okay, well then obviously, you know, it's not worth it to play in PogChamps, because it's like a lot of time and work you have to put in. And so like that's the other thing, is like some of these creators, and I know it's happened in past editions too, where some of the big creators, they got pissed off because they felt like at the end of the day they were told one thing, it's like 10 hours commitment, when in reality that's not what it was. It's so much more that you had to commit in order to basically not get insulted and embarrassed. And that's the biggest issue I have with PogChamps as it currently stands, is that this latest edition, it's like because the people who were running at chess.com were not around in the early days, they didn't understand what like the whole process, what the thought process was, what the reasoning was behind the event. So that's stuff like that I would love to talk about, because those are the things that like a lot of people don't realize. And it's also important because like another example I would use is like Mr. Beast. So when you hear Mr. Beast talk about YouTube, he's like, Mr. Beast says something like, you know, I could create a new channel and get 10 million subs tomorrow. And I think Mr. Beast is completely right when he says that, by the way, because there's certain things that like the people who were there in the early days learn that is not common knowledge. There's just these little things that you learn along the way with all these different events and everything else. And so like I do think it's also true for chess. A lot of like the events team at chess.com that does the events and all these other things, they were not around when the first PogChamps happened. And so there are a lot of little things that have just been lost along the way in terms of like knowledge. So like if there's a podcast to talk about those sorts of things, I gladly would do it. I would gladly do it, for sure. So what do we have? We have king c2, king b7 waiting for a move here in this game. Okay, we haven't gotten queen e5 yet from Fabiano. They will get more time at move 40. The girls game, this looks, or I shouldn't say girls, it's a little bit wrong, but in the women's section, this looking fairly drawish. So fairly drawish. So let's see what Magnus does here. Fabiano Ronaldo. Okay, I don't know what you mean by that. This podcast seems like commentators want to be somewhere else half the time. I don't know, you guys. I'm not going to get into it, but like I said, like what PogChamps like in its initial iteration was is very far from what PogChamps 5 was. So anyway, let's see what we get here. Okay, we get rookie 3 played by Magnus. Let's see what we get from Abasov here. I mean, time is still not crazy on move 28, but it's a tricky spot here, very tricky, because one wrong move from Abasov and he loses the game. If he can play 10, if he can not even 10, if he can play like 5 or 6 good moves in a row, he will probably draw this game, but he has to be very, very careful here. He makes one wrong move, he's just going to lose the game, because king is weak, pawns aren't good. After queen e7, knight f5, queen g5, he's actually okay, because you have rook g2 with the classic right triangle, 90 degrees. So if he finds queen e7, I think he's in the game, but if he doesn't play queen e7, he's probably going to lose the game. Tyler 1 is stubborn and refuses to get coaching or do puzzles. Nothing wrong with Tyler 1 doing that, because I mean he's probably self-taught as far as league and other things. Actually, XQC very similar, like he very much likes to do things like being self-taught, just figuring it out on his own. Problem is chess is one of those games where trying to do it on your own, it doesn't work past a certain point. Like it's like, you know, if you watch enough videos on like mate and fours and some basic stuff, you can probably get to like 600-700, but there's going to come a point where you cannot improve off of self-learning. It's just not possible. Alpha Zero learned on its own. Yes, thank you for the comparison, you guys. Thank you. I again, like, yes, Alpha Zero learned on its own, so of course, you know, like machine learning and machine self-learning and like human learning, it's all the same thing, obviously. Yes, obviously. Thank you, you guys. You guys are on a roll today. So, okay, waiting for a move. Abasov's got to play queen e7. I think queen d8 maybe is also, no, queen d8 loses. See, because there's probably some trick with queen a5, right? Takes. Oh, apparently rook g1. Rook g1, and you use the opposite color bishop. You use the weaknesses, and white's winning. Yeah, queen e7 only move here. Will Abasov find it? I mean, very, very tricky spot here. Very, very tricky spot. Did your stepdad teach you past common knowledge? Oh, we get queen e7. Abasov is playing like a boss, by the way. He is playing like a boss. I am very impressed with his play. He is playing like a true boss today. Yeah, true boss. Queen h2. I feel like is there knight f3? No, knight f3 doesn't work. Knight d3 apparently works, because again, you have the classic kebab with rook to e2 winning the queen. Yeah, I mean, Abasov is playing a bossov. Abasov is playing like a bossov. Yeah. Prague, did we get queen d? Yeah, Prague will probably find knight d3 here, because otherwise he's just close to lost. As long as he sees that he has king h8, it's not hard to spot. Although maybe there's knight g6 here. Still, this is within the realm of potentially a draw due to the great bishop on the diagonal. I think Prague still can draw this game, but he's got to go knight d3. And I think he will play knight d3, by the way. You said earlier you would have bet 20k on Magnus. Basically, I'll tell you what Magnus did wrong. If Magnus had played any move except c4, I would have felt really good about him winning. c4 kind of is the move that it was not as explosive as it was intended to be, pun intended. So yeah, it didn't turn out to be. C4 was just not explosive, and after c4, I mean, it's all been good for him, but c4 made it too easy for Abasov to play. I feel like, I mean, I still think Magnus will win this game, just to be clear, but it's on the edge here a little bit now. This is game number 1. Yeah, no, he is. I mean, I wouldn't say he's outplaying Magnus, but he's playing very precisely. He's playing very, very well. Yeah. Hypothetical 20k on the line. Yeah, don't worry, you guys. I mean, that's no different than buying a random biotech stock. Same thing. Can Magnus still win? Of course he can still win, but he's gonna you know, the more I look at this, the more I'm really kind of unconvinced. He's got to find a way to get an endgame where there's a lot of play. He's got to find an endgame where there's a lot of play here. This is called the FIDE World Cup, you guys. FIDE World Cup. Hikaru, please qualify for the cans. I will boycott chess if you don't become world champion by 2026. It happens. Yeah. Yeah. Why is he leaving his seat after a remove? I mean, generally a lot of players do. Like, I do too. Many people do. Yeah. Yeah. Prague played it. That's not surprising. Oh, Fabiano. Ooh, Fabiano did not play knight g6, because knight g6 would have ruined the black pawn structure. You get the 2 pawn stack. Now e5 is very strong. Okay, so Fabiano did not play knight g6, so now black's pawn chain is still intact. I think that Prague is going to draw the game now. Yeah. Do the cameras bother you by the board I'm playing? Not really. I don't think about it. No, they don't bug me at all. So, okay, you trust Fabiano to win? I don't think he will. We're gonna get something like g3 bishop c5. Black has a good bishop, maybe an open lane. In the endgame, this pawn a5 is a weakness because the bishop can touch the pawns. So it could be an issue, but overall, I mean, white is better. But if Prague keeps his nerves here, like, I think he's fine. Also, because after bishop c5, like, just to illustrate the point, like, even if you get some position like this where you get this, the bishop is always supported by the pawn, so the bishop is always planted on c5. So we get g3. Yeah, I mean, the thing is, like, you get some position like this, and, like, I don't know, like queen d7 takes the bishop is always planted. It's always eyeing the pawn on f2, so it's not so bad. But we'll see if Prague can keep it together. We'll see. Abasov's game, what do we have? Queen e7, still waiting for a move. Have I felt Messi's arrival? No, because I just got back yesterday, so I haven't felt it. Again, big shout out to everybody who's watching. Hope you guys are having a fantastic Saturday morning, Saturday afternoon, evening, if you're in the Emirates or on that side of the world. So hope you guys are doing very well. So yeah, we are, of course, covering the FIDE World Cup. We're having a good time. Yeah, 4K, 4.2K and rising. So big shout out to everybody. Hope you guys are doing well. We're probably going to cover today and tomorrow. I'll probably stream. I probably will stream tomorrow as well. I'll cover the game. Is Magnus going to win? I mean, I think Magnus is the odds-on favorite. If Magnus makes the finals, he's going to win, because it's a 4-game match in the final, if I'm not mistaken. I think it's 4 games. Maybe it's 2. If it's a 4-game final, Magnus will win, because over 4 games instead of 2, his advantage becomes much bigger. The more games there are, it's good. Blitz rating is kind of low right now. My rating's like 3,200. I literally don't care, you guys. We will be watching MasterChef later, probably after the game's end. I'm going to do a recap for YouTube, and then I'll take like an hour off, go get some pasta, and then probably we'll play the Bullet Brawl and then do MasterChef. That's the problem, the point. That's the plan, I should say. Yeah. So approaching 75k followers. Also, for everybody who can't sub, make sure to hit that follow button to get the alerts when I'm going live. We're very close to 75,000, so thank you so much, you guys. What kind of pasta? Probably spaghetti and meatballs, or something very traditional. Will your schedule change now that you're married? I didn't get married the day before I left for the tournament, you guys. No, of course not, because I mean, I'm trying to think of the way to say this so that, like, people don't try and cancel me, but like, my wife understands that I have a job, and she respects that I have a job. So why would my schedule change? Like, come on, you guys, be serious. Yeah, I mean, come on. Like, come on, seriously. It's like saying, well, do you quit 9 to 5 and you get married? Yeah, it's like, you get married. Yeah, I can't work a 9 to 5 job anymore. Yeah, I mean, like, I can't work 9 to 5 anymore. Nope, not possible, you guys. But somehow I can't work 9 to 5, but I'm still gonna find the way to pay the bills, right? Yeah, I mean, yeah, it's like, I'm not gonna do my job because I got married, but still somehow I'm gonna pay the bills without a job, without making money. It's a good one. I like the logic. Okay, so will Abasov play rook g2? Rook g2, rook e2 takes queen f5 should be a draw, because the bishop is pinned here, and after rook e1, maybe like h5, this should be a draw because it's opposite color bishops. You're pinned on the file. You're gonna have to trade pieces. I mean, I think Abasov should draw this game if he plays rook g2. Yeah, rook g2, rook e2, and queen f5. Yeah. No, nothing changes, you guys. Though you guys who are wondering, like, nothing changes. Come on, nothing changes. Yeah. Yeah. God watching Hikaru laugh just makes me feel good. Yeah, I mean, it's like, it's good. I mean, I like the logic there. It's like, yeah, you got married, so like, you can't work your job anymore. Yeah, you guys are hilarious. Hilarious. Yeah. Will Abasov play rook g2? This is the last moment of truth. If he plays rook g2, he is going to probably draw this game. If he plays rook g2, I expect this to be a draw. So let's see. Those are palm trees. There are trees here. Yeah. Yeah. Nothing changes except your finger now has a ring which will weigh you down and slow down your mouse movements and bullet. Yeah, because I have a ring, but it's not on the, it's on my left hand, you guys. My hand, this is the hand I use to, this is the hand I use, and I already have a ring on this hand, and it doesn't slow me down. So this is my mouse hand. The ring is on the other hand. So yeah, that's, I mean, I like the thought, but it's not completely true. Yeah, not completely true, but yeah. Yeah. Is my wall color orange or black? It's orange, you guys. Like when I bought my house in 2014, it had this orange wall and it's become iconic. My mouse hand is insured. No, actually, speaking of insurance, I remember having a conversation the very early days. It's before I actually started streaming, but I had a conversation with Recful, Byron Bernstein. He streamed WoW and other games. Anybody who's followed streaming knows who he was. And so like I remember talking to Byron even before I was streaming. He was saying to me like he was trying to see if he could get get insured somehow for streaming. But yeah, I mean he wasn't able to. But I do remember that conversation. I do remember that conversation very well. So yeah, rest in peace, Byron. We all miss you. Okay, let's see. We got Rook G2 played here or Queen F5. Two options. Nihal is showing his chess.com streamer, but where does he stream? I don't know. Yeah. Yep. Good move from Abaslov. Good move. He's playing some great chess, by the way. There's some good stuff. Takes and Queen F5. Like, he's playing some good chess here. Yep. Takes, Queen F5, Rook E1, and like H5, H4. I mean, this should be a draw. This should be a draw. I mean, I don't really see how Magnus wins this for a couple of reasons. The main reason I don't see him winning is because everything's stuck here. So eventually, like, even if he gets this position, he's going to have to trade the rooks. With only a queen and bishop on the board, it's very hard to win. So specifically because of the trade of the rooks, trade of the rooks or the queens here, very hard to win. The other big problem as well is that in this end game, it's opposite color Bs. The Bs are the opposite color. So this is probably going to be a draw. I'd be fairly surprised if Magnus wins here. I don't know how he wins specifically because of the opposite colored Bs. This is the biggest problem, in the fact that you're going to have a trade of pieces. Magnus wasted his prep. He did actually. Big waste of prep, honestly. Huge waste, because this is one of these like really inspiring ideas. This Rook G1 G4, really inspired. Get Rook H5. I mean, Queen F7 or Queen G6 both look good here. Probably Queen F7 is better just to spy everything here. But Queen G6 also is fine. I mean, both moves look totally fine. You just have to keep an eye on the rook. That's the main thing. Yeah. Have I played Abaslov? Like, another idea is if you go Queen H2, there might even just be like Queen E8 or Queen E7. Apparently there's something winning. Bar went to 0. What? Queen F1 is apparently winning if you play Queen H2. Wow. Yeah, so Queen, that's why, because if you go here, maybe Queen H2 is a move. Because now you have the right triangle, and there's no infiltration on the back rank. Yeah, Queen F7, Queen H2, Queen F1 is apparently winning. Yeah, this is, I mean, this is some good stuff, though. Will Sally Mova become a GM? I don't know if she becomes a GM automatically, but she should be. She's a very strong player, so I assume she will get to GM soon. Did she draw her game? Her game's still going, but I mean, it looks like it's going to be a draw, right? Yeah, this is definitely going to be a repetition. Okay, Magnus's game, we got knight d4. So Magnus is hoping to get the big white center in the classic connect 5 here in the center of the board. I don't think he's going to win anymore. I think Prague has held his own. I think this is going to be a draw most likely, because the bishop is very good. It spies the pawn and the king. You can always trade it later on. I think Prague has defended. I think Prague is going to draw. Oh, did I say I said Fabi? Sorry, yeah, I think that Prague is going to draw us against Fabi. Sorry, yeah, maybe I'm confusing it. What did I say? Did I say Prague is going to draw Magnus or something? What did I say? I don't know what I said, but anyway, I said Magnus. Oh, sorry guys. I hope I don't get fined by by the script writers for leaking the plot, but who knows? No, yeah. I mean, I hope the story I hope the writers don't find me for leaking the script, but you never know. So anyway, let's go back to the other game. We have Rook H5 waiting for a move from Abaslov. Yeah, Queen F7 is the best move. Let's see if he plays it. I think there's a very good chance we could get a draw. We could get something like this, and we could get a repetition. I think there's a pretty decent chance of that. Spoiler alert, man. Yeah, sorry, you guys. Yeah. Okay, Fabi played queen c4. I mean, you can always take maybe king g8, maybe c6. Still some issues for still some issues for Prague, but I feel like c6 maybe is a good move to push for d5, although e5 and then you're undermined. Whereas if you could get this position, just to illustrate the point, pawn always can take. Whereas when you go c6 here, if you go like, I don't know, here takes, now the bishop and the pawn are a little bit loose on these squares. So let's see. The architect is going to be pissed. Yep, true. Okay, Prague a little bit low on time. He's got 8:30 for 10 moves. Not super low on time, but a little bit low. Rewrite incoming. Yeah, they're going to rewrite it. Okay, this is the big moment though. Abasov, will he play queen f7 or queen g6? The big moment. I mean, Magnus Fabiano on paper is the most likely. Prague has been pretty good in the tiebreakers. I mean, actually wasn't very good against Arjun, but both players were just like nervous out of their mind because they knew they were going to get a spot in the candidates. So I mean, I feel like Fabi in classical always is in good shape. I feel like in tiebreaks with Fabi, you never really know though, because I mean he's definitely shakier in tiebreaks than he is in classical. Queen g6 is also a move here because it makes sense because you keep an eye on the pawn. Like queen f7 doesn't really spy this diagonal, so I mean there are arguments for both moves, queen f7 or queen g6 here. Yeah, but we'll see. Okay, no more moves here in the Prague game. We're still waiting. The other game was, I think, drawn between Salimova and Goryachkina. Maybe not quite, but will be. The other game looking very drawish. Yeah, Muzichuk and Tan Zhangji are going to draw their game. Opposite colored bishops. White has an extra pawn, but its stack should be a draw pretty soon. So yeah, so we basically have just these two games. Magnus versus Abasov and Fabiano versus Prague. These are the two big games. So let's see what we get here. Waiting for a move. Oh wait, we got king g8. Yeah, let me refresh the. How do I refresh? Wait, how do I refresh? Forget how to refresh the board. But anyway, yeah. So we have the position after king g8, and we're waiting for a move. Opposite color bishops are generally a draw because it's harder to attack. The bishops bishops basically can be next to each other. It's like your neighbor, like not your neighbor, sorry. It's like it's like when you go to prison. I was gonna say it's like when you go to prison and there's a glass in between you and the other person. It's the same thing. There's like a glass. Like the bishops can't interact together. He plays queen f7, which is great too. My analogy probably isn't quite right, but whatever. I think you guys get the point. So anyway, yeah, I don't know. I don't know why I came up with that analogy, but anyway, yeah, it's like the bishops that they're on the opposite. They can't do anything. Yeah. So, have you been to prison? Good one, you guys. Yeah, it's a good one, you guys. Yeah. So we're waiting for a move here from Magnus. Queen f7, a great move, by the way. Yeah, Abasov playing pretty good chess here. I think he's going to draw this game now. I think it's pretty safe to say he's going to draw. Okay, the other game, no moves. The other game, still going, but it's looking like we're going to have draws very soon. Very, very, very soon. Yeah. I mean, king c3 is a weird move. Computer likes it. I don't really see the purpose. Like, are you really pushing p? I would be pretty shocked though. I mean, queen h2 still feels like a move. It feels like a reasonable move here. It just loses after queen f1, but I wouldn't be shocked if Magnus plays it. But the fact that Magnus is using time, I mean, the one thing that Magnus has that nobody else possesses, or not in the same way, is he has this spidey sense. Like Magnus, I don't even know how to explain it, but he has this spidey sense where he can sense. It's like the force where you can sense where something's wrong, and he has this ability to sense when there's danger, when something's wrong, better than anybody else. So he probably won't play queen h2, but I could see it. Yeah. Why is his first name automatically blocked? Probably because it's too close to a certain bad word. So that's why. So okay, waiting for a move. Magnus can either play the rook h1. I mean, rook h4 loses because it takes and queen f2, winning the rook. And if you can't go, I mean, I think we could get a draw. I think there's a very decent chance we just get a draw here with rook h1, rook h5. Very decent chance I think we get a draw. So on that note, then I'm going to use the Russian one more time, so I finished all my coffee. And I'll be back in 1 second. But I think we could get a draw very soon. We'll see. Okay. So yeah, you guys were asking me, the problem for white also is like if you play like a random move like king c1, like black can set up this classic like right triangle too, and at some point you have trouble breaking because there's like a double right triangle here. There's like it's a double right triangle. You see, so because you have a double right triangle here, it's very hard for either side to do anything. So I think there's a very good chance that we're gonna get like rook h1, queen f5, rook h5, and we're gonna get a draw. I think there's a very, very decent chance. Very decent chance. Where do I get my shirts? Some of my shirts I've bought, like this shirt I bought, I believe, at a pop-up shop in I think in Beverly. It was a mall. It was like Beverly Hills or something. There's a pop-up shop, starts with a K. It was like it's like a Hawaiian type name. I forget what it was called, but there's a pop-up shop that I got this one from. I bought shirts, a few of my shirts I bought at Hilo Hattie, which is a store in Hawaii. It's probably the most famous shop in Hawaii for buying like Hawaiian style shirts. So I have some shirts from there, some shirts from like the pop-up shops, a bit across the board. Have I tried Prime Hydration? I have not tried Prime. No. Is it good? I don't know. The pineapple shirt I bought that shirt at the Hilo Hattie store on the island of Kauai, which is one of the seven islands of Hawaii. So that's where I bought that one from. I don't even know where I would get Prime from, you guys. I don't know. But you know, I'm such a boomer that I remember the old days when you grew up and you just drink water. You just drink water. I grew up in the old days before all this fancy schmancy. I'm so old that I remember things like Zima or Gatorade or those sorts of things. So yeah. All right, waiting for a move here from Magnus. I think we're gonna get a draw most likely. I think we're gonna get like rook h1, rook h5 probably. I've had sparkling ice, I've had Celsius, I've tried all of them. Yeah. Do I drink coffee? I do drink coffee, yes. Yeah. No milk in my coffee. I generally like my coffee black. Can I name the 7 islands? But they're more than 7. You just can't go to all of them. Like there's Maui, there's Maui, there's Oahu, there's the Big Island, there's Kauai, there's Lanai, which is owned by Oracle Bro. What else is there? That's 5. There's that's 5. What else am I forgetting? There's Nihao, there's Molokai, and is there another one, like another one that I'll that's like I already named 7. But I feel like there's one other one like that's sometimes considered an island and not considered an island. I mean, there's like a really small one, but I think I just named them all. Kahulawe is another one. Like I wasn't sure if that's actually an island or not. Yeah. Yeah, Kahulawe. Like I don't recall Kahulawe being an island when I went there before, but yeah. So yeah, I just named all of them except for Kahulawe. Blunder. Oh, he did it. Oh, Queen F1. Oh my God, Queen F1. Let's go. Queen F1, baby. Let's go. Come on, baby. Queen F1. Let's go. I said Magnus could do it. I said he could do it. Queen F1 and Rook G6, and let's go, boys. Let's go. Queen F1 and Rook G6. GG. Queen F1. Come on. No. Wrong order, bro. Wrong order, bro. No. How is it that these guys, they immediately play 30 seconds when, oh my God. And now he screwed the pooch. It's probably just a draw after takes Queen F2. Is this actually a draw or not? Wait. I think this is a draw. But the game's going to go on for a long time. He played the wrong order. Queen F1 first was winning. Queen F1 was winning because basically now you have to go like Queen D2. Or was it winning? Wait a second. Why was... Wait. Queen... Wait, let me set this up. Queen D2. It said -2 and now it says -0.3. Wait a second. Wait, is the engine... Wait, the engine said -2 here. It says -2.49 after Queen F1. Oh, is the chess.com engine just terrible? No, I mean literally I can literally show you guys my screen. Like which scene do I go to? Let me show you the scene. Yeah, like literally, you guys see it, right? It says minus 2.49, queen f1, minus 2.49, and as soon as you play it, it says queen d2 minus 0.34. Oh, Sessa confirmed it. What does Sessa say? Queen d2, rook g6. Oh, and now, yeah, very weird. But why is this actually winning? Wait, here, king b1. Oh, you have queen a1 to win the bishop. Yes, that's why. Ah, that's why. Yeah. Okay, let's change the scene. Yeah, that makes sense actually. Yeah. Okay, so he played rook g6, so now I think the game will go for a while, but this should be a draw. We're gonna get check. You can't move the king, so if you go here, there's queen e1 to win the bishop. You go here, there's queen e1 to win the bishop, and if you go here, there's bishop g4 check, king here, and then check, and then king here and take with check. So basically, I mean, you have to play queen d2, but after takes a5. I mean, I think this is this actually a draw? Wait, I think this is a draw, but I'm not sure. Let's see. Let's go deep into this endgame here. Takes a5, bishop h2, bishop g1. Is this actually winning or not? I think this is still a draw, probably. I mean, this is a draw, I believe. Yeah, this is a draw because the pawns aren't split wide enough. So to give you guys an example, what I mean by that is okay, how do I do this? So let me just set up a random position. Okay, I'm just gonna set up this random position here. How do I actually wait, how do I do this? Wait, let me think about this. I'm gonna try to set up a random position here. After takes, check, whatever, just set it up. Okay, so we get this position. I'm trying to figure out how to show you guys. Is there a way to do it? Like, I guess this is how I'll do it. Okay, so just setting up a random position here. Like if you could get this position, this is still actually a draw, but just to show you guys the point, if you can get some endgame like this, for example, where you get something like this, the wide peepos are split here. So the peepos are split here. You see how there are 2 rows in between. There are these 2 files between the peepos. Now this is actually a draw for a different reason. It's a draw because you can sack. I guess this actually wins, but just to illustrate, if you get the king here, this is a draw because it's the wrong color bishop. But the peepos are split, whereas in the end game it doesn't look like the peepos get split wide enough. You get this end game where block takes a5, you get here, and essentially at the end of this line, the peepos are only split by 1. There's only 1 row in between. So with the 1 row in between, this is actually a draw. Because the pawns are only split, there's only this 1 row in between. The pawns are too close, and with only the 1 split, it's a draw. So that's the point. The pawns aren't split wide enough here, and it's a draw. So I think that Abasov is still drawing the game, but this game's going to go on for a while. With 2 rows, normally it's a win. Yeah, if the pawns are split wider, it's normally a win. Now this end game that I just showed you guys, let me click on analysis. This end game isn't winning because it's the wrong color. Wait, where was I? Was somewhere around here. Was this the line that I was showing you guys? Trying to find the right line. Yeah, where was it? This isn't the right line. Yeah, this one I was trying to show you guys. Like, yeah, like normally if there are 2 rows in between, it's winning. Fabi's winning. Okay, we just got a big blunder. Okay, normally if there are 2 rows, it's winning. Now in this case it's not winning because it's the wrong color queening square, but normally it's winning if you're split by 2 rows. So okay, let's go back to Fabi's game. He's winning. What? Fabi's not winning. Oh, knight e2 is apparently a big advantage. Okay, whatever, it goes on. What did Magnus do? Wait, no, this is still tricky, you guys. It's not so simple. Oh wait, he missed queen g. Wait, why did he go queen g7 and play for rook g2? Bishop e3. Oh, did he just blunder? I think Abasov just blundered this away. Yeah, if the best move here is rook g6, there's 0 chance he plays it. Yeah, he just... Wow, Abasov just got 2 carrows and just blitzes out a couple of moves. Wow. Yeah, he just blitzes out a couple of moves and he turns it from what could have been a huge win into, like, not only a draw, but to losing. Yeah, no, I mean, I would have, I mean, rook g6, I'm not crazy. Rook g6 is fine. Like, I mean, I get that he missed queen f1, but to blitz rook f6 is insane, actually, completely insane. I mean, maybe he thinks I think what's happened is he got too cocky. I think he thinks he's bishop f5. Yeah, he's trying to get really aggressive here. He's getting a little bit too cocky and moving too fast. I think he thinks he has rook f3 is what he thinks. He thinks he has like rook f3 and bishop f5. And I guess after king b2, white's still, maybe it's still a draw, but this is going to go on for a long time. This game's going to go for another hour plus, you guys. So buckle up and get ready for a nice long endgame, because this is going to go for a while. This game is not going to end anytime soon now. I mean, rook g6 is not a human move here. Bishop f5 is a move. He was playing so good. I'll probably cover the whole game then. Yeah, I mean, like, you can't fault rook g6 necessarily. The time usage is bad, but you can't fault it. But to play rook f6 fast is really bad. To play both of these moves quickly is just a big mistake. Yeah, big mistake. And now he's going to suffer for a long time too. That's the other problem. Yeah, now he's going to suffer because it's going to be very tough. Bishop f5, I guess, and takes. There's what, like queen d7 maybe. Yeah, I mean, rook g6 was fine, but blitz out rook g6 and rook f6 is too much. Yeah, so too much. So yeah, this game's gonna go for quite a while now. This game is not going to end in the first control. Yeah, but let's see if Abasov can keep it together, because he thought he was fine and now he's going to realize that he's not actually fine. Yeah, he probably thought that he would counterplay. I mean, he's going to play rook f3. If he doesn't go rook f3, I'd be shocked. Yeah, I mean, I'm a little confused. Like, I mean, queen g7 is not a hard move to play. Like, it's actually a very easy move to play. It's like queen a1 also, like, why is this difficult? This is very easy. I mean, I guess he just didn't see. He didn't see the he didn't see queen a1 maybe, because queen g6 is very, very easy. This is not a hard move to spot at all. But he suddenly blitzes out 2 moves when he has 8 minutes on the clock and it's too late. So Magnus will take on c5, and now what? Apparently bishop f5 was the best move, by the way. What does he think he has, though? I don't get it. Maybe he thinks he has queen g. Maybe he thinks he has queen g6. You keep an eye on the rook and you hit the pawn, but I don't know. Or maybe bishop g6 takes, and then what? Rook f3. Apparently queen g2 wins, but yeah, I don't know. Bishop f5 was not best. I think Magnus is probably going to win now. I do think there's a good chance. I mean, I'm not surprised that he played rook g6, but to play rook f6 instantly is just terrible. Fabiano blundered his advantage. I think I told you guys. No, Fabiano's still better. What do you mean? Oh, apparently wait, Pragma c6? Wait, no, wait. Wait, what? No, there's queen f5. I don't know. I mean, it's all kind of dank here. I don't know. I think this game is still well on track to be a draw, though. Well on track to be a draw is my guess. But let's leave it on Magnus's game here. Magnus's game is what we want to see. I mean, Magnus will just take the pawn. He'll take the pawn once he doesn't see an instant trick here, and I think he's going to win this game. I mean, maybe yeah, but there's just no way, because queen d7, queen d2, and white's just fine. I don't know why the chess.com engine is so bad. I think queen f1 is definitely possible. I think with actually here with 8:12 on the clock, or 8 or 9 minutes, not use some time to try and see if it's playable is actually really, really bad, because it's very easy to spot the insta tactic with queen e2, and once you spot that, I think it's not hard to see rook g6 either. So it's actually really quite poor of Abasov to not use his time here. And rook f6 is even worse, because with 8 minutes you have a lot of time here. You don't have to blitz some moves. Like queen f1, I understand not using it if you play quickly, but to go rook g6 and rook f6 instantly is just very bad. Rook g6 not so much, but to not play rook f6. And I mean, I think there's a good chance that Abasov's going to lose here now. Like maybe you can go rook e6 and takes, and there's some trick with like queen f1. I think rook e6 is definitely possible. But rook e6, oh no, rook e6, if he sees bishop d3 with queen f1, he'll play it, but will he see it or not is the question. I don't think he will. I mean, if he didn't see queen f1 with rook g6, it's hard to believe he's suddenly going to see rook e6 and bishop d3, but he might. It's not impossible. It's not impossible that he'll play rook e6. We'll see. If he doesn't play rook e6, he's going to lose the game. I'll say that. Yeah, if he does something else like queen g6 is the human move, by the way. I think he's going to lose the game now. Apparently king c3 is good. I don't know why is this good. Oh my god, you, oh my god, and you have, oh my god, computers, you, oh my god, you, holy Jesus. Oh my god, yeah, that's why computers are too good. It's just GG. You just get mated out of like thin air. It's game over. Like out of thin air, like a mate appears. I think there's a very high chance that Abasov blunders this, by the way. I think there's a very high chance that we get exactly this line with bishop a7. A very, very high chance that we get this. No, I mean, I think there's a very high chance that Abasov just blunders bishop a7. And then the game might just be over right away. Yeah, brutal. Yeah, I mean, brutal. Yeah, it's like you play one dubious move and then you instantly play one more quick move out of nerves, and just like that you throw away the whole thing. Yeah. Yeah. I mean, king b2 is the same thing or not? There's still bishop. Oh my god. Jesus. Insane. Yeah, if you can move the king anywhere, yeah. I mean, it's not a big deal. Like, I mean, it's not crazy to lose to Magnus, but it's quite tragic considering how well he played his middle game. Like, he literally played like all the best moves. He played like probably 10 plus best moves in a row, and then he just gets careless. Like, he just blitzes out rook f6. Like queen f1, I understand missing it, but to blitz out rook f6 is horrible. Yeah. Yeah, I mean, brutal. I mean, it's just, it's not great to blitz here because like in this point, like you still are getting more time. You have 8 minutes. I don't know if I would have found queen f1. I think I probably would have used time. I don't know if I would have found it. But what I would not have done is I would not have played rook f6. I would not have played this. I would have used my time either on queen f1 or in this position, but not play both moves, because bishop e3 is a very obvious move, and suddenly if you lose the pawn, it's very clear there's danger. But I think it's probably also nerves. Yeah, I mean, he uses time so well earlier, and then he plays like 2 hasty moves and basically throws it all away. That's what he did. I mean, I think there's a very good chance that Magnus wins this game in the next 2 or 3 moves. He'll probably blunder bishop a7. Yeah. I mean, because wait, why is he blitzing? Why is he blitzing every move? I don't even understand this. I'm why is he blitzing every move? I'm so confused. I just don't understand it. It's like he's literally just blitzed like 5 moves in a row, and if Magnus finds bishop a7, he wins the game. First of all, because of king a8, there's queen a5 check, winning the bishop. And if you go king a6, I assume there's a lolly with c5, right? It's just a classic lolly checkmate on b6. Yeah, I mean, the time, I mean, Magnus in 30 seconds, that's one thing, but with like 4 minutes on the clock, I mean, and Magnus will use his time here too. That's the other thing. Magnus is going to sense it. He's going to sense that there's something off, and he's probably just going to find bishop a7. Yeah. I'd be very surprised if he doesn't do it. Fabiano's game, by the way, is Fabiano's game is looking very much like it's going to be a draw. Very, very, very good defense from Prague. There's also rook d8 to take the pawns. Yeah, I think Fabiano is not going to Fabiano's not going to win. Oh, Magnus plays rook h4. Okay. Bishop g4 is the best move. Let's see if he finds it. It's actually not a hard move to find because you basically shield the rook. You put the rook in jail and you have to move the rook back around. Yeah, you should put the rook in prison with bishop g4. I don't think it's a hard move to find, by the way, because it shuts the rook down. But Abasov better use his time here. If Abasov uses his time, I think he can still play bishop g4 and maybe save the game. But he's probably going to use his time here when it's too late. Like, he needed to do this before. But if he uses his time, he'll play bishop g4. I'm pretty confident. There's no entry. Queen f4 is a problem. Rook d4 is a problem. It's just a very natural move to shut the rook out of the game. I mean, bishop d3 doesn't look right at all because rook d4 and rook d7 with a classic kebab and a right triangle, and it's GG, why not? Yeah. Fabiano's game, you're asking me, takes rook c1. This is playable, but you can just chuck the pawn. Like takes here, and this is just a draw. I mean, maybe there's e6 and rook c6, but like even this, maybe this is how you play it. Maybe this is how you get winning chances. But again, even this endgame, even if you win the pawn, I'm really not sure how winning this is. I mean, maybe this is just winning, but it's apparently this is winning. Why is this winning? I'm confused. Oh, because you're gonna be able to walk the king all the way back over and win. I mean, this is very dank, very dank. Mags could not sense something is off. True. Bishop g4 is the only move here, by the way. Only move. I mean, I get Abasov missing queen f1. Missing queen f1's not insane, but going rook f6 was insane. Here he should have used his time, because even here there's ideas like rook g2 as well that you should think about. So yeah, I think if Abasov plays bishop g4, first of all, if he plays bishop g4, the game's going on for another half hour. Secondly, if he plays bishop g4, he's not going to lose on the spot, and he has pretty decent drawing chances. Yeah, queen f1 wasn't obvious. I don't think you can fault Abasov for missing that, but playing rook f6 was just unconscionable after like 5 seconds. Just unconscionable. So bishop g4 is the move here. Let's see if he plays it. Because like one example is something like this where you get this, and we get a long end game here, and I mean white has chance to win, but it's still opposite color bishops. You have an outside pawn, you have rook f3. There are decent chances to draw. Queen g7 is a move, but I just go bishop d4, creating the classic wooden shield, and white should win the game. I expect bishop g4. Since Abasov's using his time, I think bishop g4 is not a hard move to find. This is move number 39. 2 moves to go. But let's see if we get bishop g4. I mean, it's not an obvious move, but the more time that Abasov uses, the more likely it is to see it. Again, big shout out to nearly 4,500 you guys on this fine Saturday morning, Saturday afternoon, evening, wherever you are. Hope you guys are enjoying it. Do I feel like I engage with chat as much as Kick on Twitch? I think just as much. I think actually the thing that I really like about Kick is there actually are a lot less trolls. I feel like on Kick we get the real fans. The trolls are just kind of not on Kick. The trolls, the haters, whatever. I feel like there are a lot less of them on Kick than there are on Twitch. That's my general take. I mean, it's still very unpleasant though. There's still like this and like bishop d4 to stop it. I mean, this is still unpleasant, but at least you have chances here. But he's got to go bishop g4, and he's using time, but he's using time at the wrong point. He needed to use his time earlier. Fabiano finds the best move queen f3, trading on his own terms. Yeah, but I mean, somehow I feel like this should be a draw. I don't know why, but I feel like it should be. I mean, if you trade, you might actually lose now. This might actually be losing for black, because the white has a straight path to c6. So we'll see. More people are coming in the end, just like you said. Well, that's true too. Yeah, I mean, that is true. Also, by the way, this game Prague is 37 seconds, so this could get wild. Okay, the game in the women's section was a draw between Goryachkina. The other one still going. Let's move back. This is the big moment. Will we get bishop g4 or not? The big moment. I'm here and I'm a hater. Hope you're doing well, itchy and scratchy. Okay, bishop g4. Come on, let's go. Can you buy stock and Kick? I wouldn't know. But it's a private company, so I mean, theoretically, if someone was selling, you could. But I mean, I assume not. Prague blunder. Did he trade? He played c5, which c5 was a move that I thought made a lot of sense here. But is this actually a blunder? Like, I'm not, like, again, this is very oh, it's a blunder because you don't have to trade. The line Prague saw was this one. He saw this line with rook b5, which is a draw. And if you take on a6, I can just go here. And like, I mean, even if you play like just here, for example, even this endgame is just a draw. It's just an easy draw with the 4 versus 3. The Prague missed rook b6, rook c6 without trading the queens. Yeah, you have rook b6, c4, rook c6, and white's probably winning here also because there are problems on the dark squares around your king. That's a problem. Okay, Abasov's still thinking. I think the longer he thinks, the more likely bishop g4 is, by the way. Yeah. So let's see what we get. Did Abasov disconnect? No, he's just thinking. I assume Fabi will go rook b6. I'd be very surprised if he doesn't. Endgame looks impossible to hold. I think if he plays bishop g4 and queens come off, he wins. But if we get a position like this, it's still very hard. If Magnus can keep the queens on the board, he has great chances to win. But if queens come off, I think that it's pretty likely to be a draw. But he's got to go bishop g4. So let's see. What does the computer think? Actually, that's right. I can refresh the position. Bishop g4, queen f4, h5, rook h1, and queen f6. And apparently, it thinks this is winning. Thinks this is winning, but I don't believe it's easy. So we'll see. Okay, Abasov getting very low on time. What is he doing? He's got to go bishop g4. What is he even thinking about here? I mean, it's like literally the only move. I don't even understand why he's. If he doesn't play bishop g4, I mean, he's going to lose in the next 10 minutes. Yeah, if he doesn't play bishop g4, he's going to lose in the next 10 minutes. It's a moment of truth here. Let's see. You think he disconnected? He plays it. Okay. But see, this is the thing. Like, he plays it, but it's like the time usage at the wrong moment. He uses his time. Luckily, he finds the one move that keeps him in the game, but still, it's not looking very good. Computer, I mean, I don't know why. Computer thinks this one's winning. I mean, don't even ask me why it thinks this is winning. I don't even understand why it thinks this is winning, because I don't believe this is winning. But we'll see. I mean, Magnus very lucky though. Queen f1. I think queen f1 is a move that Fabi would have probably found. I do think Fabi would have played queen f1. But anyway, okay, here we go. Keep going. Thoughts on Abasov cheating allegations from Reddit? I mean, I don't look at that stuff. But I mean, I didn't see anything that said it's verified. Magnus was losing for one move. He was, yeah. I mean, the 4-on-2 is good enough. I mean, like, the only way that I can see it being good enough is something like this. Let's get to this position. Like, if you can maybe get the king, like, but even this, like, there's always h4. I mean, like, I don't know what I mean, how the computer thinks this is winning. I really just don't believe it. I don't think it's gonna win. I don't think this is winning. Just my gut instinct, but we'll see. On the other hand, this is going to took way too long. Well, I mean, the thing is the time usage. Like, you cannot use 5 seconds to play rook g6. Like, you can't use 5 seconds here and then 5 seconds to play rook. Use 5 seconds on those two moves and then use the time here. Like, just the time usage just off. So yeah. So let's see what we get here from Magnus. Let's see. But I do think that this game is going to go for quite a while still. So for everybody who's watching, wondering whether you should go out and get coffee, go to Starbucks or Dunkin' Donuts or whatever, you probably do have time to go right now, because this is where we'll probably get 2 moves quickly. We'll get to time control, and whoever's turn it is will probably think a lot. Magnus will either think or Abasov will think. What happened in the women's section? We still have one game going. Muzichuk versus Tanjanji. Muzichuk trying to get the classic lobster pincer with the lobster pincer checkmate with the rook and the bishop. Still probably a draw, but let's see. Yeah, still probably a draw, but who knows? Fabi's game. What do we get? Oh, did Fabi is actually winning or not? Wait a second. This winning rook c7. Apparently this is winning. Why is this winning? Oh, because you can go rook b8. I get it. Okay, yeah, so this actually is winning, because if here you go off with the idea of a7, and now you just eat the juicer and win quite easily with the king, the rook, and the pawn. This is move number 40 though, so Fabi should play king e3 or king e2, but maybe king e2 is wrong. Like, what? King e2 is apparently wrong. Oh, it's wrong because there's rook d7. Actually, no, now this is maybe a draw again. Wait, so you go here and I go rook d7, this is winning because you have rook d6. And it takes you win, because here you get the king up, whereas with the king on e2 it doesn't quite work. If you go here, takes here, this is actually going to be a draw because the black king gets in time. Yeah, Magnus made a blunder. What did Magnus do? Wait, what? And it takes, this is winning. This is move number 40. Let's see if we get queen g7. Queen g5. Oh, queen g5 doesn't work. Okay, so Abasov should actually find it. If he sees takes in here that's losing, queen g7 and queen g5 is not hard actually. He finds queen g7, he's going to draw the game. He doesn't find it, he loses. Queen g5 loses to checkmate. I don't think it's a hard move to find. That's fine, right? Or is this wrong? Now king b4 apparently wins. Oh, because the bishop's not guarded anymore. Ah, he went to the wrong square. No, it's not about the check. It's that on this takes queen g1. There's some difference. What is the difference? You go here and you win. Oh, because there's no queen c5, so you take the rook. Oh my god, this is insane. So basically, yeah, when you check in this line, the bishop is just hanging. I mean, it's just hanging. That's the problem. It's just hanging. Or wait, no, there's yeah. Yeah, now it's just over after king b4. It's not hard. And it's move 41, so Magnus will play it. Magnus is going to use his time and play it. That's the problem. Yeah. No, I mean, the thing is queen g7 just guards the bishop. That's the point. I mean, it's a hard move, but yeah, Magnus will use his time, and I think he'll find it. Yeah. And you have nothing here, right? Did he play it? Wait. Oh no, we didn't get a move. Wait, you don't think he'll play it? I do. Let's refresh the page. Yeah, with 30 minutes I think Magnus will find it. No, it's not super hard. I mean, the tragedy for Abasov is that queen g7 after bishop d4, it's the only move. Queen g5 is the only move, so you actually find it by force. Although after king b4, what's the win? Rook e2. And this is just, yeah, I mean, it's not easy. Yeah. Yeah. You guys are asking, how's he losing? No, I mean, the big tragedy here is that if he had played queen g7, he would have had half an hour to find all the moves. That's the tragedy. Like, it would have been forced. Like, after bishop d4, you have to go to g5. I mean, queen g7, to me, queen g7 is more human, actually, than queen f6, just because it guards the bishop. Like, it feels a little bit scary going here. On the other hand, for Magnus, bishop d4 is a very natural move, too, though. Like, bishop d4 or king b4, this also feels very natural as well. So we'll see, but Magnus will probably play king b4 now. He'll probably use time. King here, check, and bishop queen f5. What? Why does this hold? Why can't he even just play d4? The king is very safe with the bishop here. Yeah. No, I mean, I don't think he'll move the bishop. I expect king b4, unless he misses queen 7. Like, you could see something like this and get scared. I mean, the only question is I'm actually not looking. I want to turn off the lines to think about this. Check here. Is this playable? It doesn't look like white. It doesn't look like black has anything, so it's not hard. It's not hard to find this. Yeah. I mean, if takes, because this is actually losing, right? This is losing. Yeah. Yeah. I mean, that's the only question, is whether there's a c5 line, like maybe check and then takes in c5, but because here there is check, but still king b5, no checks. Yeah, I mean, this is not difficult. Magnus can use 10 minutes and figure it out. Yeah, it's not hard to spot this at all. Yeah, it's not difficult. I mean, queen g7 was the move, and it's a big tragedy because, yeah, this is because with time c5 is not hard to spot. Yeah, I mean, although even this, because king a5 you have check and then mate. Yeah, and if you go here, then I mean, even h5 and just move the queen and you're fine. Yeah. Yeah, I mean, I don't think this is hard for Magnus. He just uses 10 minutes and plays it. And the other problem is that, like, once he plays it, it's just so easy. It's just so easy because you have mate in 1, you have rook g4. There's only c5 check. Yeah, I mean, I'd be surprised if Magnus doesn't find it. Fabiano blundered? Wait, what? What did wait, what? Wait, Fabiano just messed it up too. Yeah, because actually now Fabi totally messed this up. And Fabi messed it up on move 42. Oh man. All the players messed it up on move 40. And if you go king e4, there's just rook d2, and this one, like, now you're losing everything on the king side. So like even this one, no shot, bucko. Like here, move 40, you hate to see it. Yeah, both games, Fabi's game went from a win to a draw on move 40, and Magnus's game went from a draw to a loss. Yeah, brutal. We're gonna be playing the bullet brawl a little bit later on, so I think once these games end, I'm probably going to I'll do a recap, and I'll do a recap, and then I'll come back like in an hour. It's almost 11 o'clock, so yeah, I'll come back and then I'll do a recap of it. This game's still probably gonna go for another 20 minutes or so. Yeah, Magnus' game, I'm saying Magnus' game was a draw. If Abasov played the check on g7, we would have had this, and I think it would have been a draw. I think for sure, because after king b4, rook e2 is the only move, like literally the only move to play here. So yeah, bullet brawl, we'll be doing it here on Kick. Yeah, I'll be doing the bullet brawl on Kick. So that's gonna be the plan. So probably, I'm assuming these games end around 11. I'll probably take half an hour, do a recap, and I'll probably start at about like 12:30 ish on, or 12:30, 12:45 ish on Twitch, and we'll come over to Kick. Yeah, tragedy for Abasov though, because he played an amazing game and then he got careless for 2 moves. He got really careless on his rook g6, rook f6, and then of course and then he used too long to play bishop g4. If he had played this move in like 5 minutes, he would have had the time to calculate queen g7, but he used like 8 minutes to play bishop g4, and then all these moves are wrong. If he uses time on rook g6, rook f6, it's different, and then he uses too long on bishop g4, whereas he should have played this move in like 30 seconds. So brutal stuff, just brutal stuff. Yeah, I mean, just brutal stuff. Magnus probably just calculating the lines with queen c7, etc., and probably realizing it's just winning. I feel really bad for Fabi too, though, because Fabi's going to spend forever to calculate. Yeah, Fabi's going to spend forever calculating and getting mad at himself for messing this up too. Like, because even if you get this endgame, even this I think is a draw. Like, there's, because now you have to give it up, and now it's 3v2, and this is a dead draw as well. Brutal. Actually, rook a7 is the right move, because then you ensure that the pawns come off. Yeah, Fabi goes king e4, there's just rook d2, and suddenly your pawns are weak here. I mean, it's just very easy. Magus played it. Yeah, he didn't use much time. Not surprising. Abasov throwing did not get accused of cheating, losing sponsorship. Whatever, you guys. Stop being weird. Stop being weird. Yeah, I mean, of course Magus found it. It wasn't a hard move. Rook e5 is maybe the only try. I think rook e5 is the last try. Hoping for something, and then if Magnus plays d4, I think it's just GG because it's a classic diagonal. Yeah. So we're gonna have Magnus will win, and this game will be a draw. But very funny, you guys. Very funny. Yeah, I mean, does rook h6 win too? I just thought maybe there was a check, but maybe you can. No, then there's mate. That'd be a pretty funny way to lose. But I mean, even king c. Yeah, I mean, there's just. Oh, he plays it quickly too. Funny. Funny that he plays it quickly. King a7 loses after check. If you go to a6, I just eat the juicers. I mean, this is the biggest reason queen g7 was best. Was that if king b4 takes, there's no check on c7, so you hold the bishop and you cover the square. That's why this was so much better. Because when you go this way, now if you take the bishop, there's check, but there's even, well, I guess rook g4 doesn't work here, but basically the main reason is because the queen held the two things that it doesn't hold here. That's the main thing. So Magnus will use a bit of time, but I do expect him to finish this off pretty soon. Pretty soon he's gonna win this. Bishop c5. Yeah, bishop c5 looks dubious because there's like h5 or something, right? Yeah, basically, yeah, because after h5 suddenly the rook is back in jail here. The rook has no squares, so suddenly they're tricks again. Yeah, I mean, I think rook h6 wins. I mean, I think bishop d4 wins. I mean, I don't really think this is very hard to spot either. because you have check, yeah, it's not hard to play this. Well, it's funny because after queen f1 the only move is queen g1 that wins. If you take, you lose to queen a1, which is not obvious at all here, so we'll see. Once Magnus plays c5 and bishop b6, is c no, this isn't right. What do you mean? I mean, bishop d4 might run into c5 or something, right? Maybe not. Oh, queen e7 apparently is still game on. Interesting. Because basically, yeah, it's just can black at h5 to guard the bishop. Yeah. Yeah, I mean, if he plays rook h6, it's over. It's just, I mean, I don't think this line doesn't seem hard to spot at all to me. But I mean, there is still queen f1, I guess, with queen a1. Like, there is one last trick with queen f1. So, yeah. Like this is, I could see Magus getting scared of this line with queen a1. Like if he doesn't see queen g1. But queen f2 also wins. What do you mean? There's check. You lose the rook. Or wait, no, you have check. Wait, but you check. Yeah, I mean this is getting very random. But I mean, if Magnus sees queen f1 and doesn't see queen g1 winning, for example, this could go on. Like if he doesn't see queen g1, this could go. So I think Magnus might spend quite a bit of time here thinking. Somehow you think it's not easy for Prag to hold. I think it's very easy. Yeah, I think it's extremely easy for Prag to hold. I don't think it's even going to go on for much longer. Let's see what we get though. What happens if castle takes bishop? I don't know. Oh, if rook g4, king a7, and I mean, because see, yeah, like this is winning after c5, but playing c5 is not so obvious. I mean, is that the only move that wins? Like this king a4 one too? I guess king, but like, see, like even this starts to get a little bit scary. Like, so I don't really, I mean, I think Magus will probably use a good chunk of time and probably play rook h6. Like rook h6, queen f8, c5. You just take, or wait, no, actually no, there's rook. Wait, actually, is this easy? Oh, actually, this is also very easy. Yeah, this is very easy with bishop b6. True, you guys are right. Wait, but actually, wait, check block. Oh, and then queen d6 wins. But this is not super obvious either. I mean, it is winning, but it's not super obvious. Wait, what did he play? He played d4, which I guess is just clean, right? Actually, d4 is what I liked, isn't it? Isn't d4 what I liked? Yeah, because d4 d4, yeah, you just queen b8. Yeah, this was the other one that just wins. Yeah. If queen d6, you just block and you lose the game because everything's hanging. Yeah. So yeah, Magus is going to win this game, and with it, he's probably going to he's going to take a 1-0 lead and probably win. Prag's game, like I said, is looking very much like a draw. I think rook d5, or is it, I mean, like even this should be, or wait, actually, yeah, this is just, I mean, Prag might go into the 4v3, but even the 4v3 is a pretty easy draw. Like it'll go on for a long time, but it's a pretty easy draw. I mean, you also have rook d5, rook c5, right? Because if here you have c3 and you sneak the pawn down, the king is shielding the rook. So rook d5 also very simple. I wouldn't say that Magus is necessarily going to win the event because there's still a long way to go, but yeah, I mean, I think I mean he's going to be in the final. Someone can tell me, is the final 2 games or is it 4 games? Is e6? I mean, is the computer smoking something here? Like, why is this? No, the computer's smoking something here. Yeah, okay. 2? It's 2. Oh, it's only 2 games. So yeah, so it's not guaranteed. If it was 4, I think Magus would win. Magus did make a move. He played d4. Abaslov is thinking here. Can you take? No, just takes and just hide the king. Yeah, no, this is over. So yeah, probably as soon as this game ends, I'm probably gonna call it, and I'll go do a recap of this game. Why would it be 4 games? It's not PogChamps. True. Yeah, I assume Abaslov will resign pretty soon. If you were world champion, you'd be as humble as you are now. Of course I would, because I don't come from anything. It doesn't change anything for me. You wouldn't be surprised if Magus plays a bullet brawl. I don't think he will, but it's possible. I doubt he will, but it's possible. Today am I playing bullet? Yes, I am. Did I already eat breakfast? No, I'll go eat some pasta. I'll go get some pasta after the recap, because I'll probably have about an hour before the bullet brawl starts, roughly. So yeah, bullet brawl, I think I'll probably do it here on Kick, because I still want to watch MasterChef later as well, and of course I watch that on Kick. So yeah, I think most likely we'll just keep going. Yeah, I'll probably call it. I'll come back at like 12:30 on Twitch, be on there for like 10-15 minutes, do some puzzles, get ready, and then come over to Kick, and we'll play the bullet brawl. That's gonna be the plan. Yeah, I think I'm gonna end after this, because I want to do my recap, and recaps usually take like 20-25 minutes, so it's not super straightforward. Is Muzichuk winning? Oh, apparently Muzichuk is winning because she's just winning with the lobster pincer. Yeah, like rook b1 just check, right? And king f8 b7, and king e8 loses to rook e8 with the queen. And if you go like if you go here, there's rook c7 threatening mate in Uno. You move, check, and GG either way. So yeah, actually this is GG. Yeah, Pragg is holding in many ways. He just goes for the safe one, which I like. Pragg's technique showing that going for the safety valve with rook a7. He is down a pawn here, so the endgame will go on forever, but Pragg will draw this game. The 4v3 is a draw. I've actually drawn this against like Magnus and many others. Game will go on for another hour, but this will be a draw. This will be a draw. Rook a7, the last critical move to be played, and then Pragg will save the game. I mean, Fabiano will make this game go on for another 40-45 minutes, but it will be a draw for sure. So okay, Magnus game's still going, but it'll end pretty soon. Okay, yeah, so that's pretty much it then. So yeah, Pragg plays rook a7 as expected. Fabiano going to be up a pawn here, but this will be a draw. Whether Fabi chooses to play for another hour or just make the draw, it remains to be seen. I don't think Pragg is better than Gukesh overall. But Pragg has shown incredible resourcefulness and great nerves at critical moments. Like this game, he's been under pressure this whole game, and he's played very, very well under the pressure to save the draw. I mean, maybe I'm speaking too soon. I mean, he still could blunder, but I think it's going to be a draw. So, I mean, it's just a question whether Fabi plays on for another like 30 minutes or not. Said 30 minutes ago, yeah, I did expect Magnus to win, but basically, okay, bishop c5 just ends it on the spot. Yeah, bishop c5 is GG. Or wait, is there check? No, but you still have the lolly with queen c7 and mate. Yeah. So yeah, Pragg goes c2. Yeah, I mean Magnus will play bishop c5. I mean c5 maybe also works. Yeah, he does c5. Yeah, c5 is just also good enough because of the mate. Yeah. Would Magnus ever be world champion if he didn't rely on opponents blundering? So Magnus wins the game. So Magnus wins a big game here, and with that he takes a 1-0 lead. So all right, you guys, I am gonna stop. I think I'm gonna stop, and I'm gonna call it for right now. So I think I'm gonna go do my recap. I'll go do my recap on for YouTube. I'll get that done in the next 30 minutes. I'll probably be back around like 12:30 on Twitch, and then I'll come over right around 1 o'clock on Kick, and we'll go from there. We'll be playing the bullet brawl, we'll be doing MasterChef, and maybe some other variety. We'll see at any rate, but I'm gonna stop right now. So I hope you guys enjoyed it, and I will be back a little bit later. So I hope you guys enjoyed the stream, and we'll see you guys in about two-ish hours. Hope you guys had a great time. See you then. Bye.